What's good, everybody? This is Ryan Johnson with MoneyBass.com. Man, what is going on, everybody? Glad to see you coming back in for another Tuesday night live stream. Guys, you guys just don't know what really goes on behind the scenes over here. I'm rushing. I'm always into something. But as you guys know, please hit a 1 as you come into the chat. Just want to make sure that you can hear me okay. Want to make sure everything looks good, sounds good, so you know I'm not up here talking to myself as I get everything lined up, making sure everything is, just set up all right for you. And want to give a special shout out to the Facebook crew. All right, just checking in on you guys. Let me make sure I have it set up, make sure everything is live, because we do have a few of you guys that get active over there on the Facebook side of things. All right, here we go. All right, so we're rolling on Facebook too, guys. And actually, hold on. Let me just make sure. Let me make sure we're live. Let me make sure we're live. Just double checking. All right, there we go. There we go. Now we're all good over here on the Facebook side of the world. All right, guys. Man. So what's going on, guys? How's everything been going? Who was out there on the lake this past weekend? Let's kind of get into it. Make sure you get active in the comments. You know how we do each week, guys. And we have some new people that will be checking in. I mean, you guys saw last week. I mean, we kind of got into a topic that seems like it had a little bit of everybody wanting to chime in. So, looks like a few other things have come up, a few things that you may not be aware of. And I have somebody that I might be bringing in. Well, not might. I'll have somebody that I will be bringing in.
Yes, sir.
That has some info that you might not have heard. And they actually said they kind of disagree with some of the things that I said. And you know how I do over here. It's all about just exchanging ideas, different thoughts, and all that kind of stuff, and opinions. So hey, make sure you get active in the chat, guys. Want to keep reiterating that, because the live streams build off of the participation of the chat, guys. All right, so I see a few ones coming in here. You guys can hear me okay, see me okay. I see the Facebook crew over here. All right, so the topic of tonight's live stream is the incident with Keith Poche and what took place over at Toledo Bend. So we may have some people in here, maybe, that aren't familiar with the topic and what actually happened, to kind of make this something that has kind of, a lot of people are getting pretty passionate about it. So just to give a quick recap of that event and what we're going to do, guys, we're just going to get straight into the topic of this evening. And of course, I will be giving some shout outs to the people in the live stream. Oh, but I can't forget this. Guys. The live streams are supported by you, the viewers. Each week, whoever gives the largest super chat, super sticker to the channel becomes the sponsor of that live stream. And if you take a look at the bottom of the screen, you see that banner that's scrolling down there. That basically lets you know the supporter and the sponsor of the live stream. And from last week, it is carrying over into this week until we have a sponsor for this show. So you see the banner, it says, special thank you so much to the sponsor of the stream, Mark Scott. Special shout out to Mark Scott and Mako Mills. I mean, hey.
Yes, sir.
I mean, they've had the name on that banner for a minute. I remember it was on there last week too. But want to give a special shout out to you guys. And let's see. The other thing is, make sure you hit the like button on the way in, guys. It really does help support the channel. Pushes us out there a little bit more. And if you take a look, the channel is growing, and we've been growing fast, guys. We hit 5,000 subscribers not too long ago. Now we're over 6,000, headed towards that 7. So it's all about building this community of like-minded guys so we can get in here each week, share our thoughts, opinions, ideas on things, and continue to help each other out so we can get better out on the water. That is what it's all about, guys. All right, so let me give a few shout outs first. I see a few people have hopped in here. So, and I do want to make another announcement before we get into it, guys. I'm trying to get into it. Live show. So, I'm kind of building it as we go, guys. So here we go. So we got Joseph checking in, member of the Money Team. He says, hit that thumbs up button. That's right, guys. Please hit that like button. He says, let's make money famous. Oh yeah. It sounds like that might be all right. All right. So the other thing, guys, if you take a look, Joseph is a member of the Money Team. The members of the Money Team will have badges next to their name. And so Money Team members, take a look at your badges. I changed things up a little bit. So for right now, when you see that 1, that 2, that 6, we do have some people that have been some members of the Money Team for quite a while, but that badge will change with the length of time that you have been a member of the Money Team and supporting the channel. So big shout out to you guys. Really appreciate that. So special shout out to Joseph for that. All right, then we have Ivy Moore checking in. He says, you are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. I haven't even said anything yet. What's going on, Ivy? Glad to see you back into the live stream. Then we have GS Fishing hitting me with the 1. Let me know everything is good. Then special shout out to Slide Doggy TN, a very strong supporter of the channel. Glad to have you here and always getting active in the live stream. He is a very big supporter of the channel, guys. So I don't know if you have heard of an item called a target lock. So he donated a target lock to the channel, guys. And what I've been doing is going out there, getting footage for you guys, bringing it back, uploading that footage to the channel. So if you want to learn more about electronics and that kind of thing, make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out the videos. And I also wanted to say before we get started that this is a live stream. So these generally go from 1 hour to 2 hours. It just depends on, you know, how active you are in the comments and what type of topic we're talking about. So some people do like this long form of content, but then I also have these shorter forms of content. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because we had somebody that hopped in the chat and they said, hey man, I watched the live stream. We were sitting there watching about 30 minutes and you're still going and going. So I was like, hold on, just relax just a little bit. I do live streams. We also do short form content, guys, where I drop videos that could be anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes, something like that. And also a lot of shorts. Those short videos will be anywhere from 15 seconds to 1 minute. So I try to put a little bit of something out there for everybody. Whenever I'm out on my tournaments, I may do a quick short or something like that before blast off, you know, just different things to kind of give you a little bit of backstage information about what's going on. All right. And so just wanted to drop that out. I can't remember the guy that was in the comments, but I think he did end up becoming a subscriber after he was like, hey, man, you know, your videos are taking too long. I waited. I didn't even get all the info I wanted, but I hit that short form content for him. And guys, I think pretty much everybody here has seen that last video that I dropped because it did get a lot of comments and everything, a lot of views. So, hey, we're going to get into it. All right. So shout out to Joseph, member of the Money Team. And then he says, you're not about them barking Rugers. Okay. That's kind of an inside joke here on the channel, guys, because we did do some reviews on some people getting shot at in one of the live streams. So yeah, it gets real out there on the lake. All right. Then we have Michael checking in. He says, when is live scope coming out for bank fishing? Question of the day. Bank fishing. I mean, what's going on with that? You don't need a live scope bank fishing. You're supposed to just just kick back in the chair, have a good time, put some worms on the hook, and just have some fun with it. All right, then we have Texas Snoop says, "What's up, money? What's going on? Really appreciate you coming back into the live stream." And we have Pat checking in. He says, "Mask off, checking in." Special shout out. We have a new member of the Money Team. We have Ivy Moore checking in. And if you take a look, he now has that badge next to his name with that N on there, which stands for new member. So really appreciate that, guys. Really appreciate everybody coming in, always getting active in the chat and supporting the channel. All right. So shout out to you, Ivy Moore, newest member of the Money Team. All right. Then we have Walleye Slayer 23. He's hopping in here. He says, badges. We don't need no stinking badges. We don't need those badges around here. Hey, man, might spice it up a little bit. All right, then Joseph says, you don't want no slack. Don't reel down so tight. Send it. All right, Joseph. Joseph getting active in the chat. Really appreciate that. All right, then we have Lewis. Was that Lewis checking in? He says, howdy, Bass Freaks. What is going on? Hey, glad to have you back into the live stream. We have Cerebral Tackle checking in. Have anybody heard of Cerebral Tackle? If anybody has heard of Cerebral Tackle, put a yes in the chat. I just want to see who we have watching the show tonight. Does anybody know who Cerebral Tackle is? All right, then he says, at Michael McDaniels, it's already here. I'll explain later. What does that mean? All right, then we have J Car says, "Hey, Cerebral Tackle." Uh-oh, then we have we have some people checking in here. So we have Eat Squawk Poop Repeat. Oh my goodness. What is going on in the chat? Eat Squawk. All right, what is going on? Glad to have you in the chat. J Car says he's great. Uh-oh, J Car says yes. Eric Jackson says yes. Then we have Cool C checking in. Shout out to Cool C, member of the Money Team. Man, guys, listen, I get in here and I start having fun. Okay, so the topic of the evening is the issue. I guess it's kind of an issue. The topic, what happened with Keith Poche? And let me just do this first, just for the people that may not be aware of the situation. You could just be checking in because, hey, we talk about a little bit of everything on the live streams. So there was a tournament that took place on Toledo Bend. There is an angler. His name is Keith Poche. He drives an aluminum boat. If you fish tournaments, you know that most guys are driving fiberglass boats. You know, we like to keep those things shined up. We don't want to get scratches on there. We kind of baby them a little bit. Well, some of us do. Some of us baby them a little bit. But when you get those aluminum boats, hey man, it's like you driving an all-terrain vehicle out there. I guess to me, I would say maybe it's the Humvee of fishing. Sound about right? Yeah. So with the boat that he has, he can kind of go off-roading, off-watering with that if he wants to. So what he did during a tournament is he had an area of water that he found that he wanted to get access to. And what he did, he took his boat, he backed up a little bit and took off, jumped that small dam. I mean, guys, it looks kind of amazing. But he jumped that dam and landed on another smaller body of water, and he went and caught his fish, came and jumped back over it. So that has been an area of contention. And what ended up happening is he was disqualified. So once he was disqualified, he appealed that disqualification. Then the panel that the disqualification was put in front of, they upheld the disqualification. So he lost, I believe it was his day one weight, and kind of cost him a little bit of money, and I think it knocked him back in the standings just a little bit. So that is what pretty much happened. So there are a lot of people who feel he should not have been disqualified because they're saying that he did his research, he checked everything, and he was given the okay. Well, he felt that he was given the okay by the research that he found and from what he was given from the people that he checked in with. But the tournament side of things said, no, you did not check with us, so you got to come in front of this committee. There's a lot of people who feel he should not have been disqualified. Then there are some that says, hey, you can't be doing things like that, so it should be upheld. So that's pretty much where we're at. And actually, while we're at it, let me do this real quick. Let me just share something with you guys real quick. So this right here is what we are talking about. Let me just blow this up for you real quick. So take a look at this, guys. Take a look at this. Here comes the boat. All right, so there we go, guys. So that little bit of action right there was enough to get him disqualified. So what do you think? I mean, we're here. You guys are in the comments. And guys, what we're going to do is I do have a special guest that I will be bringing up in just a minute. And then I'm going to drop the link. That's right, guys. I'm going to drop the link so that some of you guys, if you want to come in here and voice your opinion, voice your facts, bring what you have to kind of, let people know how you feel about it. And do you feel that he should have been disqualified, or that disqualification should be overturned and, let him go ahead and collect what he was supposed to collect? So that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about, guys. All right. So let's go ahead and do this first. So I'm going to bring up a little bit of something that happened since the last live stream, and just bear with me. It's a work in progress, guys, and it's live. So I have to do a little bit of work every now and then. So what I'm going to do is just share my screen and pull up the information that I have found from last time. Okay, hold on. Just bear with me. Bear with me. All right, share my screen. All right, here we go. All right, just bear with me, guys. I'm sharing my screen, and what I will do is just pull up. All right, that's that part. All right, so there's a part in here where Keith is explaining his side of things, and basically what he is saying. And why is this hard to find right now? It would happen during once I get everything rolling, right? All right, here it goes. All right, let me pause it and share my screen. All right, let me see if I can blow this up for you guys. That's not it. All right, just bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Trying to get the volume control on. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go.
About me, it's almost like a defamation of character because it's a lie. It's not true. What I did is not illegal, and I'm about to justify that. You know, Rule 6 in the BassMaster rules is, competitors are responsible for research of all fishing and boating regulations. That's what I did. I took the time to research that and verify that it's legal to fish in there, and it was legal to boat in there. So this is no different than going through a lock and dam.
Okay, so just wanted to hop in real quick. So that is really the part of what the issue was. He did get verification that he could fish in there. He's saying it's no different than a lock and dam. But the thing about that, guys, I know there's some people in here that aren't familiar with fishing tournaments and all that kind of stuff. A lock at a dam is basically where the boater will be able to go through like a small canal that is closed off on both ends, and they release water. The boat remains in water the entire time, and then they open the other side, and the boat can continue to go on to another side of the body of water. A dam obviously is a solid structure, and in that picture you just saw, you saw that it was solid land between those two bodies of water. So he's saying that they're similar, but for someone that is not familiar with fishing, that whenever you take a look at it, you may not understand what he's saying with that, because I wouldn't say that they're the same, because one of them, your boat is coming out of water. The other one, it does stay in the water. And what you just saw him jump, someone in a regular bass boat, they're not going to go across land like that. It's not really made for that. But let's go ahead and finish listening to what he has to say. And I'm just going to play a little bit of this, and then there's a new response that has come out, guys, and that is what I'm going to get to. But just for anybody that needs to get caught up, just wanted to put that out there for you real quick.
Bass just didn't take the time to investigate it enough to deem it off limits. I'll go a little further. Only waters open to all public fishing will be considered tournament waters. Rule 14, that states there that it's open, so it's part of tournament water. So, in other words, it's no different than what I did than going through a lock and dam. You can't fish in a lock and dam, so that's non-tournament water. So anglers enter a non-tournament waters area to access the other tournament water part on the other side. So I don't see what the difference is of what I did. I follow the law. And I'm gonna go a little further here. Let's look at that. And some people say, why didn't I tell the tournament director? He says, prior to 8 a.m. local time, the day before the tournament is scheduled to begin, any questionable areas must be brought to the attention of the tournament officials to be considered tournament waters. What's questionable? I followed the law. How is following the law questionable?
All right. So one of the things that I would say about that part right there, guys, is even though there may be certain laws in place, the tournament rules and policies can override for the tournament the laws that are in place. Just because a law says you can do something, the tournament can still say that that's not allowed. So that is another area where people are saying, well, hey, why didn't he call and get verification or confirmation that he could do what he was doing? He did not contact the tournament specifically. So that was another area where people said that, hey, it's kind of an area where maybe this could have all been avoided by that. But let me just go ahead and get out of that real quick. But I just wanted to touch bases with that information. And this is right on his Facebook page, guys. So this is the newest post right here. Let me pull this back up real quick. And what he had mentioned in one of his things is like, hey, put this information out there. I want people to see exactly everything that I was saying, what I did, and how I researched it. All right. So this was a comment that was made after a video that was released by Gerald Swindle. And actually, hold on, let me just do it this way. Nah, I won't do it. It'll take too long to do that. But Gerald Swindle put out a statement about it, basically saying that the rules were in the book and the rules clearly state that he broke the rules. But the question of the day, the question of the hour that everybody is saying is, where is it at in the rule books? Nobody has actually seen the wording of it. The wording of the rule that they used to disqualify him was boats. Boats are to remain in tournament waters during tournament days, meaning they can't leave the water. Whenever you take a look at him jumping over that dam, the boat left, technically it left the water. It was not in the water the entire time when it was sitting right on top of the dam. All right, so let's see. So this right here is his response to Gerald Swindle, guys. And the other thing, I don't know if you guys know, but Gerald Swindle actually was in his comments. So he was in the comments. I was kind of surprised to see that. All right, so let's see. Let me just pull this up and just read this real quick. All right, where are we at, guys? Where are we at? Just bear with me. All right, so what Keith Poche said was, so much for conservation. Thing is, I didn't even go airborne like this guy did. And he's referring to Gerald Swindle. He says, and I don't tear the world up when I do. Just saying, I wish someone would show me in the rules where it says you can't cross dry land. That is the question that has been repeatedly asked. All right. And it says, it's amazing how people add language to something to fit their narratives. And so what he means by that is, everyone is saying that you can't cross dry land, but nobody is showing it to him in writing. All right. And so that statement right there basically comes from, just bear with me again. Let me stop this. And I'm going to pull up what Gerald Swindle actually had to say about that situation. What it is in response to. All right. Like I said, just bear with me, guys. I'm going to share my screen again. All right. Let's see where we at. Okay, here we go. All right. So now let me bring this up and take a look at this. All right. So here we go. So this is the G-Man right here. Two legends in the game. I mean, but we all love fishing. We're all here for the sport. I mean, we like the guys. We like the competition. And hey, sometimes when you're friends with people, you may butt heads a little bit, but hey, it doesn't really mean too much. We'll get through stuff. All right. So this is what he is referring to. So this article is where G-Man is sitting here explaining the situation that took place. And it says, obviously, don't be stupid. He says, the most difficult tournament I've ever fished was on Ross Burnett Reservoir in Mississippi. I fished for 6 days and didn't even get one bite. The water temperature was 41 degrees and the lake was rolling red mud and rising. I didn't even retie my lures after the first day because my line didn't come in contact with a bass's mouth for the other 3 days I fished. So he hadn't even got a bite or anything. All right. So now he says, the good news is I got a check because I jumped a beaver dam. He says he jumped a beaver dam, guys. He says, I was riding up lake, saw a pond behind a beaver dam, and said to myself, if this water keeps rising, I'll jump that beaver dam to see if I can find a bass pond, to find bass in that pond. So he can see access to some water that is not attached to the water that he's currently in. So he decides to jump a beaver dam. All right. He says, so a little later in the day, we went back to the dam. I told my partner, check this out. Now, just imagine being the co-angler. Just imagine being the co-angler. He says, I told my partner, hang on. I'm going to jump that beaver dam. I made a big circle in the river. I knew where the ditch was, where the water ran out of the dam. So I got my boat up on plane. And when I hit that beaver dam, we went in the air. Woo! So they're in the air, guys. We caught enough bass to get a check. Now, when we came out of that pond, we tore the world up. Oh, we tore the world up. What does that mean? All right, he says he tore the world up. He says I tore my prop and had to limp back to the boat ramp. Now, see, what do you guys think that's a safety issue? I mean, what do you think about that? All right. And it says, I don't advise anyone else to do something that stupid. But when you haven't caught bass in 6 days, the situation often determines the amount of stupidity you're willing to endure to try to catch bass. We caught all of our fish in that pond with a little bitty spinner bait. All right. So there we go, guys. So that is the G-Man. He's explaining how back in the day where he actually did something pretty similar to this. And that is what Keith Poche is referencing whenever he says, hey, so much for conservation, and about how he tore the world up. All right, so that being said, I told you that G-Man was in his comments. So what did he have to say in Keith Poche's comments? Well, let's take a look and see. All right, so let me just pop this back up here real quick, guys. All right, so if you go into on his Facebook page and you go right where that post is at, and you come down here to these comments. Now, let me see if I can pull it right up. Now, there we go. One of the first comments on here is the G-Man. The G-Man said, hey, let me get in on this action. So what he said was, easy, big fella, read your rules. Some of that was 20 years ago. So what he's referring to is the things that he was doing was 20 years ago. And since then, it has been made illegal. So whenever the G-Man was doing it, it wasn't illegal. But since then, the laws have changed. He says, you tore the world up at Red River. Any more questions? All right. So, it's kind of having a little back and forth right there, guys. All right. But remember, we're still talking about fishing. Yeah, there's a lot of money on the line for them. But, us as fans, I mean, we're kind of sitting here watching and seeing what's going to happen with everything. All right. And another thing I wanted to show you guys, just bear with me real quick. So whenever he said that he made that decision. All right. Let me see. All right. Hold on 1 second, guys. Yeah, I definitely want to show you this. Now, speaking of decisions that we have made, that we come back later on and realize that, hey, that may not have been one of the smartest things to do. Let me drop this back down, guys, and bring this up here real quick. So, keeping up with the theme of making bad decisions. So this right here is a situation that I was actually involved in. Now, this right here is Lake Gunnersville, guys. See if we can put a little sound to that. So I was out here just kind of speeding through it a little bit. All right. So right here, this is day 2 on Gunnersville. And let me just pause this. So this was right after a hurricane. I mean, no, it's actually tornadoes. A tornado had passed through here. So if you look, the sky is clear. Everything is looking good, guys. So it's like we were supposed to put down on the other end of the lake, but because of the weather and everything that came through, they were like, no, we're going to launch day 2 out of the same spot. On day 1, I had taken an L because I was like, I know on day 2, I can go to where I need to go and catch the weight that I need. But when they told me that, I was like, man, I'm going to have to make this run. So I decided to make this run, guys. And here we go. So right here, I'm out here. There we go. Yeah, I'll just keep the volume off because as you can hear, it was very, very windy. And for you guys that are just chiming in, all this is, I'm just showing a quick clip of whenever I made a decision several years ago that, was not something that I would advise somebody to do now because of what I ended up going through by making this decision. So I was definitely on the fish. I'm out there catching a lot of fish. I'm culling and everything, but look at those waves. And this is before spot lock, guys. I did not have spot lock on this boat. So it's knocking me all over the place. And I'm kind of offshore fishing. So I'm catching these fish. I'm bouncing around on the boat, running back there, trying to cull these fish and get right back on the spot. After every fish I caught, I'm sitting here culling the fish. Then I'd have to go way back to where the wind had blown me off. So at this point, I'm looking at the time and everything, and I'm like, well, hey, I got to give myself like an hour and a half. I allotted myself an hour and a half to make it all the way back because of the way the weather was looking. So this is on the way back, guys. I start running into these waves. And in this tournament, I don't have a co-angler. So I wasn't really worried about that because it did start getting rough. So take a look at those waves, guys. They're hitting the boat and I'm taking a beating. I mean, that water is drenching me. And the thing that I didn't realize at the time is that it is actually filling the boat up. And my bilge pump was not quite keeping up. So let me just hop through here again, guys. So as you see, and just take a look at that. The handle has been knocked off my net. My units were knocked loose. Yeah, and my trolling motor was kind of, it was taking a real good beating. All right, so I did eventually. So this was the end of it right here. This wave. Let's see. There we go. That wave right there, guys. It knocked the camera off my boat. Now this is at the end of the day. I mean, whenever I finally made it back to the weigh-in, and let me just take a look, make sure. Okay, here we go. All right, so I have made it back to the weigh-in, barely made it to the weigh-in. My boat actually sank onto the trailer because I was out there. I had to keep moving, driving while they backed my boat back because the boat had actually filled up with water. Now, take a look at this, guys. I'll put the sound on so you can see. And again, for everybody just checking in, this is just showing you guys a time wherever I made a decision that I would not make the same decision again because of what it almost cost me. All right, so take a look at this, guys. Let me put the sound on for you. So here we go. Almost sank out on the water. Compartment all full. Knocked my windshield off. Water was up to the seats. It's drained out just a little bit. Can you see that cockpit, guys? That's what I was driving back in. The batteries, all of that's flooded. And I made it back. Water's still draining out. And you just saw how much water was in that boat. And that was after the water had been draining out. All right. So I just wanted to show you guys that because, yes, in tournament fishing, sometimes we become so focused that we will make a decision that later on we may think like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So with this one, and I mean, we always, like I said, get that tunnel vision, but I do have to mention, I got third place. I still got third place after all of that happened. All right. So let's see what else I can pull up for you guys. So we got that. And this was the other thing I wanted to show you. So whenever G-Man is talking about we make bad decisions at times, let's go ahead and hear what he has to say straight from the man himself. All right, here we go. All right, let me share the screen again real quick. All right, so let's see what he has to say.
You got that right.
Or do you think I have never done something? You think I've never pushed a no-wake zone? Or you think I've never ran one accidentally? I have. You think I've never had too many fish in the boat? Had to turn myself in. So I'm aware that we've all made mistakes.
That's right. I think just about everybody that has been tournament fishing for any length of time has made some mistakes. All right, so there we go, guys. All right, so now let me show you one of the things that he is referring to. And who has actually seen this? And I see you guys are getting very active in the chat. Shout out to you guys. Really, really appreciate that. So I'm going to hop back into the chat, guys. So I definitely will be giving shout outs to the money team. Any super chats or anything like that have come in, you guys will stand out. So I'll be able to get to yours pretty quick. But let me pull up this real quick to show you what he may have been referring to, guys. All right, hold on 1 second. All right, here we go. All right, so who remembers this right here? Who remembers this? Who knows what is about to happen with this one? So this is the G-Man back in the day, making some of those decisions. Here he comes. Woo! Man.
What's up with that? Yeah, he shouldn't have done that.
Man, did you guys see how close he came to those boats? Take a look at this. Look how close he is to that boat that is right next to him. So yeah, when he said he's made some decisions that he kind of regrets or wish he hadn't made, I think he knows what he's talking about, guys. All right. Let's see. All right, so let me stop that right there. So yeah, I mean, so that is, yeah, I mean, that's some critical stuff right there. So when he's talking, he's not just putting it on other people. To me, he's taking responsibility and saying, hey, I've made those decisions too. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have made decisions that you come back later and you're like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So yeah, so that's what we're talking about, guys. All right, let me just take a look at one more thing. Got that. All right, guys. So now let's hop into the chat real quick just to see what you guys have been talking about. And like I said, we have a special guest that I'm about to bring up in just a few minutes. Let me hop into this chat real quick. But before we get to the chat, guys, what is this? Hold on just a second. We have somebody stepping in that has hit the channel with a $10 super chat. Jay Carr says, thanks, Cerebral Tackle, for leading me to this channel, enjoying the content. Oh, hey, there we go. Now that is what we are talking about. Big shout out to Jay Carr. And what I say each week is whoever gives the largest super chat, super sticker, support for the channel is the sponsor of the live stream. So Jay Carr, I mean, hey, looks like you're new to the channel, but guess what? You're stepping in strong. You're stepping in strong and becoming the sponsor of tonight's live stream. So let me do a little work. You guys saw the banner that was at the bottom of the screen. So what I do is head in here and let's make Jay Carr the sponsor of this live stream, guys. All right, just bear with me. All right, let me make sure I spell the name right. Have to make sure I put some respect on his name. All right, Jay Carr. Save that, add that to the stream. All right, so here we go. So if you take a look at the bottom of the screen, it now says special thank you so much, Jay Carr, for being the the sponsor of the live stream. All right, so there we go. So you see Jay Carr down there. All right, so Jay Carr, looks like you are the big fish of the live stream. All right.
You are the big fish.
All right. So Jay Carr stepping in strong and getting active in the comments. Really appreciate that.
Big fish.
All right. So let's hop back in here to these comments real quick. And so we can get to the meat of the show. So we can get some facts, guys. Let's see. Are you guys dropping some facts in the comments? Let me just hop in here real quick and see where we were at. And like I said, if it's, you guys are getting very active in the comments. So I'll try to zoom through here real quick. And if I can't catch up, I'll just go through the member of the money team. I'll read yours out. And then like Jay Carr dropped that $10 super chat, I'll be able to, his will stand out. So I will be able to see your guys with the badges and things like that. And I can shout those out real quick. And once again, special shout out to the newest member of the live stream, Ivy Moore. Really appreciate that. All right, so where were we at in the comments, guys? Let me just hop in here. All right, there we go. So we have Cerebral Tackle says, shout out to all of my people. Love you guys. Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, so yes, Cerebral Tackle has some people coming to check him out to see what's going to be going on tonight. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. We have Eat Squawk. What did he say? Eat Squawk, poop, repeat. Hubby says, I sound like a seagull when I get started. Oh, my goodness. All right. Jay Carr says, watch 5 of your videos. Thanks, CT, for the invite. Oh, yeah. Special shout out to that. All right. Jay Carr says he has 2 boats, doesn't he? Yeah, I think some of these guys are out there rocking 2 boats, guys. All right. Then we have Lewis says, fellow Air Force veteran. Off we go. Oh, yeah. Off we go, man. Off we go. Really appreciate that. Special shout out to you and thank you for your service. All right, Joseph says bass and battleships, hook sets, brake jobs are free. Badass boat. Okay, all right. Okay, got you on that one. Look at Joseph always trying to start some problems. All right, then we have Jay Carr says non-tournament waters. All right, so yeah, I see you guys were kind of getting active into what your thoughts were on it. And so we do have Cerebral Tackle in the chat. And guess what, guys? Cerebral Tackle is also waiting backstage. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what he has to say. What is going on, man? Special shout out to Cerebral Tackle checking into the live stream.
Hello, my man. How you doing?
Doing all right. How are things going for you?
We're going on good, man. We're going on good.
All right. Yeah. So it seems like we have a little bit of controversy going on here.
Yeah. Seems like these 2 guys want to brawl it out online. And I guess we're all just here for the show.
Oh yeah, that's what it looks like. And guys, make sure you check out his channel. It is Cerebral Tackle. You see him in the chat, spelled just like it sounds. And the link for his video is in the description. So he goes a little bit in depth in it, and he has some info that, you know, I haven't heard anybody else out there putting out. So let's kind of get into it. I know you've been seeing some of these comments and everything that people have been dropping. So is there anything in there that's kind of stood out before we get into it?
Yeah. A couple things actually there from the videos too on the recap there.
Okay.
When it's funny how some of these guys will go through the rule books and cherry pick. They pick out what they think supports their case, but then the things that kind of kick them in the butt, they conveniently leave out. Like I noticed Mr. Poche was talking about Rule 6, right?
All right.
Well, if he looks down to 6.3 down there, Roman numeral 3 under 6, it talks about having to obey all the local rules and regulations of whatever state and lake you're on. So what he did by jumping that, and by the way, guys, I have this on authority of a game warden that I just got off the phone with not an hour ago.
Uh-oh. Special
From
shout
that
out
area.
to that. So hold on just a second, guys. So Cerebral Tackle saying he's coming with some facts. So let's listen to his facts. And guys, listen, if you have some opinions and you have some facts, make sure you drop those down in the comments, because I'll be bringing those up. And like I said, I'm going to drop the link. So if anybody has some, you know, some information that they have found out that kind of supports, you know, may support Keith Poche, or may support, you know, the disqualification that is not being presented here, make sure you come up and, you know, just kind of, I'll give you guys maybe what, like 15, 30 seconds. You can come up, kind of state your opinion on it. Then we'll keep on rolling from there. So we're, you know, like I said, guys, we're looking to build a community of like-minded guys. We all are here. We love the sport. I mean, even with the anglers, I mean, it doesn't matter to me which angler it is. I mean, they're all out there doing their thing, and I support all of them. So even when there's a little bit of controversy, you know, it just kind of adds a little bit of excitement. I don't watch football, basketball, all that stuff. You know, I like fishing. So for me, this is kind of interesting whenever we have some things that we can bring in like this. All right. So you said you spoke to the actual game warden.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's a couple that are assigned to that county. I had a conversation with one of them, and I asked him, said, you know, I'm not a hunter. I'm unfamiliar with this. So you tell me, are the roller systems always used, or do other folks go and jump it the way Poche did? Now, he informed me that some boats do actually jump it. However, here's the trick, though. The caveat to that is at a safe speed. He kind of suggested that people don't need to be going on plane and bumping over it. Now, I've heard a lot of people in my comment section saying, oh, he's going 10, 15 miles an hour. Hold up. To get a boat on plane, any boat, even a light aluminum craft, you and I both know that ain't happening. Gotcha. It's not 10 or 15 miles an hour. Man had to be on plane. We all saw him coming, whipping around that corner, going past those cypress trees and flat jumping that. That wasn't no 20 or 10, 15 miles an hour. It just wasn't. So it's game warden's discretion.
Gotcha.
If a game warden saw somebody doing something like that could tear up their boat and cause a safety issue or harm that ramp, they're getting a ticket. Now, in that video that you showed, that actual video of Poche jumping that area,
right? If
you look just past where his boat is, you'll see something attached there to that opposite side, the side that he crossed over into. He wasn't very far from it, just a few feet. That's that water control structure.
Oh, okay.
That's only thin slats of aluminum. He hits that, control structure's done, that whole thing empties. What kind of trouble do you think he's in? He hits that, causes damage.
Gotcha.
He drains a WMA. I think somebody might be interested in that.
And so you said that was, because I can actually, so it was basically whenever he's right on top of it, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, if you want to scroll it, if you're able to scroll it back and go slow right as he crosses it, I'll be able to kind of direct you right to where it's at.
All right, let me just pull that up.
It's kind of hard to see. It almost looks like some debris in the water just past the boat.
I don't know. Is that big enough for us to be able to see it like that?
My old butt sitting here looking. You guys can, yeah, it's kind of hard to see right there. But, yeah, it is. It is kind of hard to see there. There is the control structure on the other side of it. It's kind of a finger-shaped thing right there. right there, not too far from where that kind of grassy area is right there,
Right.
just this side of the boat. And
Okay.
at the end of it is kind of a metal cage, if you will.
And is it
And-
right next to those trees? Is that kind of where you're talking about?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
That's right
Okay.
where it's going to be. Yep, yep.
Gotcha.
And what it has is on rivers, they use what they call stop logs to block up certain areas to make, pools deeper and to kind of help water control areas from a dam. It's not like a secondary dam or an auxiliary dam. It's just stop logs. Like they usually put them under bridges.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the purpose of these are. They're aluminum slats that they just drop in like walls to keep the water from going to and from the two bodies of water. That way they can fill up that area during the winter for the waterfowl and drain it during the summer so the vegetation can regrow.
Right.
And
Okay.
if he would have hit that, he'd have tore right through it.
Right. So from what you're saying, the warden was saying if they saw someone do that, they would kind of place it under like reckless driving or something like that. And,
They very well could. Yeah, he said it's situational, depends on how they cross it.
Right.
Basically, he kind of insinuated that the boats that they have cross it carefully. Smaller boats kind of get up a slight bump over. I mean, at speed like this, Now, I would think that a game warden, if he saw that, might take an issue with it, right? Coming around the corner, getting up the head of speed on plane. Sorry, just because you kill it when you go over the other side so you don't run into those cypress trees that are just on the other side doesn't mean squat. And I've also done the measurements on that. The nearest cypress tree on the opposite side, right where he crossed, is not but like 40, 50 feet away.
Gotcha.
So he had to really kill it and kind of come to a stop, not to go smashing into a tree.
Yeah. So looking at this, how they're saying people kind of crawl over that, the height of the dam versus the water, it doesn't look like you'd be able to get over it any other way besides speeding up like that. So, and maybe I guess at times that water, he may be referring to when the water is higher, because I can kind of see that
exactly. Hence the roller system. And the trick with the roller system is Poche couldn't use it.
Right, because they're not allowed to use. Right.
Well, no, he can't use a winch and he can't get out of the boat. And that's what it would take. The smaller craft, people put it up on the rollers, get out, walk it across. Bigger craft, they got to use a winch. Both would DQ him. Now, one other thing I got to get to. Remember when this first started and he put out all those images and he's like, share the hell out of it was his quote?
Right.
There's one image and there's something that I didn't catch before that he said. I'd seen the video, but I didn't catch it until your replay. That he said he crossed. It's no different than, I heard him say no different than a lock and dam. But the part that caught me was how he said he crossed out of the water that was legal to back into another water to fish it. Now, that led me to something that I thought originally. He put out those images that had those red boundary lines.
Right.
That was from a tax office. He got those maps from where that property was originally deeded from the Sabine River Authority to Texas Parks and Wildlife, so them and Ducks Unlimited could create that space. That's what those red lines are. Those are the property lines. But if you look at them, and I sent you an email with one of them, there's a little red line that comes down that he would cross into, and that gap area there was not part of it. If you see right there where the crosshairs are, where it says Sabine River Authority.
Right where the B is
at the bottom of the word Sabine, that's right where the dam is, right?
Right.
But let's say you cross up over that red line right there. You cross over that red line and then you take a left back into fishable water.
Right, I see that.
So if he's in that gap right there, what does that mean?
Okay. So you're saying the red, he would need to stay inside of that red area.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I think, and see, that video was early on, right? He made that video early on. I'm thinking, I'm not certain on this. I'm thinking from the way he said it. And remember, one of my shticks is neurolinguistics and reading body language. I'm thinking what he thought the issue was that he crossed over that red. And I'm saying that too, because these are the images he provided as evidence.
Oh, okay.
This is his stuff, right?
Okay.
So I'm thinking because right there at the bottom of the word Sabine is right there where that roller dam is. He crossed over there. If he went past that red line to go to the rest of that impoundment, which is up there to the left, is that therefore out of that? It very well could be out of that fishable area. That might have been what he thought was the issue. But whenever I talked to Mr. Weldon, head of tournaments for bass, and I talked to their their press representative, Emily, I'm getting that out of the water could be either or. Okay. It could be the fact that he crossed that line, which is kind of what he believes, or it could be the way in which he did it. The fact that he crossed over a man-made structure. What Swindle did, man, yeah, it wasn't bright, right? But the trick, I think the difference in where it lies and what I'm getting from bass officials is that there's man-made and there's natural. You get a log jam. Let's say you're fishing a pond dam on a lake, right?
Right.
Where the pond's been flooded to create the lake. My home lake has 2 of them. And let's say you're doing that. That's part of the actual impoundment of the lake. That's different. To whereas you're crossing a man-made structure, a concrete dam. I mean, it's like saying you can go jump off the side of a regular dam and fish the river system below as long as you can find a way back up. And I don't think anybody thinks that's good. So this is kind of akin to that. You add to that and the fact that it's kind of up to the warden whether he thinks it's unsafe boating and wants to ticket you. It's enough there. Plus, as you know, Bass has to permit these events, right?
Right.
They got to go through local officials to get permission to have that kind of a presence out there and use those ramps. Do you think they want to get cross with the lake officials and the people over at the WMA if that water control facility and that dam gets torn up?
Right. Yeah.
They kind of had to make the DQ, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hop back in the chat real quick and just see, because what I'm looking for now is, so we're kind of hearing some things about why the disqualification was placed and why it was upheld. But does anybody have information as to why the disqualification should not have been overturned and Keith Poche should have been able to keep it? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I just dropped the link in the chat. So if somebody wants to come up, just kind of join in on the conversation, guys. It's all good. Just sharing different opinions and facts. So make sure you guys are bringing some facts too. But if you just want to come in with a few opinions, that's good too. So I dropped the link in there. And I'll pull you up. And if you want to kind of state some information or whatever, maybe like 30 seconds, 1 minute a piece or something like that. Just see if just see what other people are thinking out here. But I'm going to go ahead and hop into the chat. And like I said, the link is already in the chat, guys. And also the link for the Money Team. Special shout out to the Money Team. We saw Ivy Moore. He did become a member of the channel. If you guys are interested in that, the link is right below the video. Just click on that join button and it will show you some of the perks that come along with it. One of which is the badge that you see next to the people's name. It kind of makes them stand out in the chat. So whenever we kind of get active in the chats, guys, and it starts moving fast, it kind of lets me be able to kind of distinguish those and kind of keep things moving. So I'm going to go ahead and hop back into the chat real quick. And like I said, if somebody wants to come up while we're doing this, while I'm going through the messages real quick, then that would be all right. All right. So let's see, where were we at, guys? Let me just hop back in here real quick. All right. And if you saw any comments or anything that kind of caught your attention, just let me know and I'll hop right to it. All right. So we have Jay Carr says non-tournament waters. All right. And he did not ask the tournament director. All right. So Walleye Slayer 23 says he's innocent. He used his ingenuity to get it done. Oh, yeah, man. That was some ingenuity. I mean, hey, it looks good. It looks good. I mean, it would definitely add some excitement to it.
It's flashy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that could almost be its own type of tournament system itself, just having all those people that are back there doing that type of stuff. But yeah, to me, it does add a level of excitement. All right, then we have Larry Ellis says rules may seem basic when in actuality they need to be defined more in depth. And that's something that I touched on with somebody else, is I think some of these rules are left vague for a reason, because whenever you have to name each individual thing, then there's people that are going to always, not saying that this is what he was doing, but there are people that will specifically say, well, this did not specifically say the or and all that kind of stuff. So that's why it ends up being at the discretion of the tournament director or the tournament organization. And there is a clause where they put in there that you can appeal and you agree to the appeals process, which is coming in front of the panel. And what that panel decides, that you are signing off saying that you will accept the word of that panel. And when I had to accept the word of a panel that told me I was disqualified because I brought in it was some type of hybrid smallmouth. It didn't really look like a smallmouth. It was mixed with something else. But hey, I had to follow those rules. I watched them take my big fish and put him back in the water and take that fish and put him back in the water too. So
Painful.
yeah, it hurts. But yeah, and to me, I tell people sometimes I think everybody should be DQ'd at least once or have some type of, so you can feel that sting. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you become a member of the club, of the DQ club.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've been DQ'd once. I had lost my big fish and my small fish, my big fish and the fish that I wasn't supposed to have because it didn't measure. So yeah, you don't like it when it happens, but just battle scars. But I didn't lose a few $1,000s whenever it happened to me. So yeah,
Yeah. Can I add some to that? May I add some to that real quick?
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
I want to tell you something. I know it's got to really hurt to get a DQ. What a lot of people don't understand too is how bad it sucks as a tournament official to hand out the DQ.
Right.
Having seen that and been a part of that and been over a club when I've had to have that happen is ugly. And it's not fun for everybody, and hard feelings end up getting harbored. It's bad. It sucks. So I understand that as an angler, it hurts. And thank God I haven't been DQ'd, and I hope I never am. But I'll tell you something, it was enough for me not to want to be part of it on the other end to have to dish it out.
Right.
I mean, it's no fun. I mean, people think some guys are just on power trips and just dishing them out. No, it sucks. Because there's not a single time that a DQ occurs that it doesn't come with consequences on the other end too. You're always going to get questions. You're always going to get side eye. It is what it is.
Yeah. And I was in a tournament where I had a fish that was counted as dead, but then when we put it in the water,
it was playing possum on you.
So, but hey, it was dead. So they were, he felt bad about it, but I was like, hey, if that's your decision, I don't have any hard feelings. That's the way that, it's the tournament process. So it's all good. So I don't want
you to. Fish had hard feelings.
Right. I guess it did. Maybe I set the hook too hard. It was just waking up. All right. We have Ronnie F says, I think if he was losing, no one would give a damn. Uh-oh. He says, but since he's putting a whooping on him, the Tudor babies are showing up.
I would look at the standings on that particular tournament and where he was and realize he wasn't sniffing first before I said that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
All right. So
that's just me. I don't.
Let me see.
He was going to cash a check, but 39th wasn't going to do it.
Okay. He says, I think if he was losing. Yeah. See, I don't really get into that part of it. I mean, I watch it and I enjoy the tournaments and stuff themselves, but when it starts getting into who doesn't like who, I don't really know who has problems with each other. To me, even with Gerald Swindle saying something and Keith, to me, that doesn't necessarily mean they don't like each other. Because I mean, when I'm fishing, we'll be out there talking trash and doing all kinds of stuff. But people may see us, and then I have a guy, Chicken Hawk, that comes on my live stream. Whenever we get on the phone, just our regular conversations, people may hear it and be like, oh man, what's going on with those two guys? But hey, that's just, it's just all
part of competition.
Right. Exactly. All right. Then we have Lance say, okay, he's agreeing with Ronnie. All right. Then J Carr says, just follow the rules. All right. Then Larry says, agree with you, Walleye Slayer 23. All right. So yeah, so you guys are chopping it up in here. All right. I'm just kind of going through here real quick. And like I said, if you've seen any comments or anything that kind of stood out to you that you wanted to address, then just let me know. And guys, I did drop the link in the chat. So if anyone is in the chat that wants to come up and, just kind of say what they thinking, or if they found out some information that kind of supports Keith Poche's side of things, then feel free to click the link. Let me just drop it in here one more time. So if you guys want to come up, like I said, we'll enjoy the conversation and the exchange of ideas and thoughts on the topic. All right. And then Ronnie says, supposed to have been, what is that title? But I apparently don't know how to spell. Okay. Oh, goodness, Ronnie. Okay. All right. Then we have Dwayne says, the water he was trying to get to. Yeah, man, we have a little bit of fun in these chats. It's all funny.
Oh, it's all funny.
All right, then J Carr said, J Carr is in here. He is getting active. J Carr, and yeah, J Carr is getting active in the chat. And let me just check real quick. J Carr, where are we at? Where are we at? I gotta give a shout out to J Carr because J Carr is the sponsor of this live stream. And he's like, oh yeah, this is my live stream. And what I say each week, guys, is whoever gives the largest super chat or super sticker is the sponsor of the live stream. So right now, J Carr has hit the channel with a $10 super chat. So he is the sponsor for tonight's live stream at this moment. All right. So where else were we at, guys? Let's see.
I got one here too. Steve W.
Okay.
Said, if the rules are vague, then call the tournament director. And that's it. As you know, they're in the rules. It says, hey, any questionable water, call the tournament director, let the tournament director make the decision.
Right. Yeah. And he did kind of mention about that he felt that it wasn't questionable because he had already done his research on the other end. But and I guess we can look at this as a learning situation for people that, that don't want to run into the same issue. If it is something where you feel you have to contact DNR and do a bunch of research to determine if you are going to do this thing, then contact the tournament director or the tournament organization. Say, hey, this is everything that I have found as to why you should tell me that it is okay to do what I have researched to do. So that to
and I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I mean, where he said it was quote legal to fish in there. Well, see, now we're starting to split hairs. Is it legal to fish the water? Is the water part of that wildlife management area? Yes. It was how he got in there. There's the trick. Gotcha. So when he talked about, defamation, because they said I did something illegal, nobody ever said he did anything illegal. It was against the tournament rules. I never heard anybody accuse him of a crime. Okay, now how he got over that roller ramp, if a game warden saw it, might have taken issue, right? But no one ever said it was illegal to fish in there. It was about how he got there. So, and to me, in calling, just my personal opinion, this part, in calling Texas Parks and Wildlife and going through the WNA and saying, is it legal to fish in there? They're going to say yes. But if you're not calling the tournament director, it's the equivalent of asking mommy because daddy's going to say no. I mean, it's like you call the person that's governing the event that you're fishing. That's the grand poobah. That's who's going to have their butt in their hands. So calling mama and mama saying, yeah, it's fine, not asking daddy and slipping out the back door, it's going to get you busted.
So look, Cerebral Tackle, CT. So what's funny is this, the way you put things sometimes, you know what I mean? Because it's like, when you say, hey, man, you go and ask mommy, be like, hey, man, what you trying to say? Say I'm a little baby or something? So it's just funny the way that you put things sometimes. But yeah, so I understand exactly what you're saying. But to me, it's like with him getting that information to support what he wanted to do, that package should have now been presented to that tournament director, to where the tournament director said, okay, well, they said this, and this. Okay, well, hey, I say go ahead and go for it. You know what I mean? Go ahead and hit that gas pedal and jump that down. We'll be there to record it. If they say it's fine, I'm pretty sure they'd want to be there for something like that, because that would make good TV. All right, so let me hop back into the chat real quick. And like I said, if you see something else you want to bring up, just let me know. All right, guys. So I'm gonna try to speed through some of these just in case, so I don't miss any good comments that you guys have. And like I said, the money team, I see your badges right next to yours, so I'll probably be popping those up first because they're easy for me to spot. All right, so we have Ivy Moore says, I would like a boater that will let me in. I need to get my bass boat and fast. I didn't do good this weekend fishing. This is what I do. Okay. All right. So Ivy Moore just wanting to get out on the water. I can't let people make it bad for me. Selfishness is real. Uh-oh. All right, then let's see. Then we have Mooch checking in. All right, so we have somebody new stepping into the comments. Says, what does it say in the rule book? Anyone know if it says anything about dry land? And so what I would say is, I did put a link for anybody that wants to pull the rules up themselves and read them themselves. I put a link in the description, and also a link is in the description for Cerebral Tackle's one of his most recent videos, where he goes over some specifics of information that he was able to find regarding the tournament and just some of the rules and regulations, things like that. But the thing about specifically saying dry land, there are a lot of things that are in the rules that you cannot do that aren't specifically stated. They kind of make it vague so that someone cannot just kind of, just kind of barely skirt the rules or say, well, it didn't say I couldn't exactly do this. So if you kind of read through those rules, you'll notice that that is kind of the thing, to where they leave them vague because it's left that will leave it at the discretion of the tournament director or that panel that they put together. And that is the reason for reaching out to the tournament organization. And I fish at the BFL level, and anytime we have questions, we can call that number and they answer it right away. I mean, I've never had an issue. And I had one where I asked and they were like, well, let me just check and I'll call you back. Because they gave me an answer, but they said, I want to double check just to make sure that everything is okay. And then they call me back. So
there you go.
So yeah, so
it's and fishing a lot, like you touched on it, and you are absolutely correct about the reason why they leave it vague. It's so they can shut down those loopholes as it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That way, if somebody thinks they are slick and they get caught, they can tighten that up. That's why they do that. And they have to, because anybody who's had to sit through a rule change meeting or a rule change committee and go through all that knows that, like you said, you can't list every single possible sidebar event that can happen with any single rule. You would be there forever. In rule change meetings, I'm telling you, I've had them go 6 hours. Man. So there was a lot of alcohol after they were done. I'm just going to say that.
Right. So Mooch, what do you think about that? Do you agree with that? That just because it doesn't say it specifically doesn't mean that you can or can't do something. That if it's something that's kind of in a gray area, that you should just call for confirmation. Because you said, what does it say in the rule book? Anyone know if it says anything about dry land? I wasn't able to see the word specifically dry land in there. But if that answers your question. But yeah, just let me know, what do you think about that? Do you think that it has to specifically say everything that you can or can't do in the book? Because that book would be long.
Yeah, because let me, they don't say you can't bring out a freaking mobile bridge layer and lay it across there too, and just, I mean, there's lots of things that go in there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't jump off a dam to the river system 200 feet below either. As long as you can find a way back up. I mean, yeah.
All right. Then Jay Carr says, yes, Mooch. All right. So let me see. But yeah, I don't think it does say dry land. But let's see what Lance has to say. He says, so if in practice you can trolling motor over it, water drops next few days and you have to jump it to get in there, all it took was a phone call from Keith, but I agree it should be legal. All right. So are you saying it should be legal to jump that dam? The other question that I have for you guys also is, let's say you're on the co-angler side. You're the co-angler in that boat. And that's the situation. Now, let's just say that that it wasn't even that high. Let's say that the water was just barely to where when he hits it and he goes over it. But now in this case, what would you guess and say? Maybe like a foot, is maybe like a foot and a half or something like that.
From what I saw from the bottom of his boat, it looked like a foot and a half to 2 feet when he was at the top between that and the water. Now, the water level on that day was about 8 inches low. Gotcha. Lower than normal pool.
So, okay. So now this is the question that I have. So now let's say that in that video, what he actually jumped, let's just say it was 1 foot. Now, let's say it was 6 inches, or let's say that it's just barely underwater. So now he's able to go over it a lot easier. But now let's say it's 3 feet, or let's say it's 5 or 10 feet. But that boater feels like he can make that jump. At whose discretion, when you're sitting on that co-angler side and you're looking at that boater as he's backing up about to make this 10-foot jump, at what point would you feel that somebody should step in and say, hey, you can't do that? That is unsafe.
Pants would be ruined that day.
So
as a co-angler for many years, pants would be ruined that day. Yes.
Right. So, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking as far as the safety side. If you're that co-angler in that boat, at what point would you feel that you should have some type of say-so to be like, hey, they should have said that, no, this person can't jump this 3 foot or this 10 foot or this 1 foot ramp.
And to that, there's one other thing there too. The gentleman that took the video had his boat beached there. From what my understanding was a crappie angler that was there fishing off that dam. This is according to what I heard from Poche, right?
Right.
And that's the guy that took the video. He told him, hey, I'm about to jump this, went back around, made a little circle, come back and jumped it. Well, just like that video you posted of Swindle blowing by those guys, which was dumb. You know, I'm not on either side. I'll just call it down the middle. I like a lot of what Swindle says. That was ignorant. Just gonna lay it out there. When you cut that close to somebody on plane, now what about a little bit of respect for the bank fisherman, right? Granted, the guy took his boat there, beached it there, but that was so he could fish that area. That close to non-anglers blowing by him like that. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah. So from my understanding, so real quick on that. So from my understanding, I don't know if Keith Poche actually said this. I think he actually said this in one of his clips, that he actually went and talked to the guy first and told him what he was about to do. And then the guy was like, well, cool. Can I record you?
Yes.
So
exactly.
Right. So I think he did actually, talk to the guy.
That's fine and dandy. And he better be glad the guy was cool with it. And the guy, from what I understand too, showed up at the weigh-in to give him the footage.
Oh, okay.
But that's how Keith ended up with that clip, is the guy met him at weigh-in. But even then, let's say it's just me in that situation. I would not go up to a guy fishing from the bank and say, hey, will you move out of the way and stop what you're doing so I can jump over here and then kind of ruin the fishing area that you're fishing in for a while. Let's face the time of year it is. Up north in that lake, what's he doing? He's probably looking for spawning crappie if there's still any up there.
Right. Man, but listen,
it would suck if I wanted to fish there, but I'd move along.
Yeah, so that, to me, I understand what you're saying, but did you see the footage I just showed you where I was almost sank on Gunnersville and my cockpit was full? So when you have
Rayburn, I've been there,
when
done
you
that.
have that tunnel vision, you're like, man,
I
have my 25-pound bag right up, and all I have to do is ask this guy. He may say no, but if I don't ask, then the answer is definitely no. It's kind of like back in the day when we were walking through the club or walking through the grocery store, and you see, like, oh man, she looks kind of nice over there. If I don't say anything, then I definitely won't get the phone number. This is back when you had to write down phone numbers and stuff. But if I at least go and try,
you're dating us, my man.
If I at least go and try, then maybe there's a chance, So the guy apparently said, yeah, man, go ahead and do it. Let me get this footage. So with that, I understand what you're saying, but when you're in that tournament situation, you to me, I think asking somebody for something like that, and if they say yes, I would say that's okay if that person said. But if they say no, I don't want you blowing through my spot and messing me up like that, because at that point he can say, well, I'm going to get if the boater says, well, no, I'm going to do it anyway, then he can say, well, I'm going to get the footage of you coming and doing this and go and say, well, hey, I did not want him to do this, and then it could end up being a problem for you. But if he asked and the person okayed it, then I'd say roll with it.
Oh man, a partner and I were fishing my home lake. There's one dock we love that had just a ton of brush on it. Oh, sexy dock, sexy. We strolled this thing. The family that lives there is out there fishing the dock. So we just gave him a wide berth and went around, and it sucked because it was early morning. We're looking forward to this dock. We've been drooling over it all week in prep. We pre-fished it. Oh, so we stroll around it, right? The folks can say, hey, no, come back, fish. We're good. We're good. Mm-hmm. We went ahead and kept going just in case. It sucked. It hurt. All we thought about all dadgum day. But we went ahead and went along. And to me, it's just because tournaments get such a bad name from a lot of folks that are stuck on the bank.
Right.
And any of us that have been stuck on the bank before and had people roll over our lines or talk crap. I've had people throw things at my feet, literally. It's like, it's just, I may be like extra careful about it, and that's fine. You're right about the competitive tunnel vision. You're absolutely right. But there's just been some things I've always just kind of skirted around. To me, the competitive tunnel vision almost has to do with other anglers that I'm fishing directly against. I'm careful not to cross that line, come too close, skip off ahead of them, that kind of thing. I don't do that.
Gotcha.
But it's like, it's almost like, I don't want to say fair game versus not, because there's always a line you can cross, but it's the folks you're directly in competition with versus folks that don't want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? They're just out there trying to enjoy their day, and it's the only way they can.
Right.
So That's
So
just my kind of thoughts.
let me do this because I see they're getting very active in the chat. So I'm going to zoom through here and read the messages from the money team. And special shout out to Mako Mills. Man, he dropped this comment in here. He says, Money, what's up, man? Let's go. All right. Really, really appreciate you jumping into the live stream. I'm way behind on these chats because I see you sent that probably about 30 minutes ago or so. All right. So what I'm going to do is just hop in here real quick and get caught up. All right. So we have Joseph, member of the money team. And guys, these are the members of the money team. I'll be shouting them out real quick and getting caught up in the chat. All right. He says he should have called the tournament director. However, when the Texas Wildlife and Fisheries said, hey, this roller dam is there to provide access, and he used it, asking would have solved all of this. So that's another. Do you think that he actually used that at that speed? Do you think he used that roller dam? Because it seemed like it would have broke the.
He would have tore it if he would have hit the road. From what I understand, only from the actual guy that's over the WMA and another gentleman as well that shall remain nameless with TP&W. If he hit that roller system in any boat at speed, no, he's tearing his boat up, and he's probably going to tear the rollers all up to hell too.
Gotcha.
So it's my understanding, and I don't see it in that video, it's not very clear. I don't think he hit the rollers. It looked like he just went straight over the concrete.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Because would the rollers be on both sides? Because
it's kind of imagine kind of a ladder that goes across the top and it's kind of bent and goes in both ends.
Right. Because I didn't see it on the other end where he jumped into. You know, the other side's kind of blocked off, so I didn't really see it.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked like he just skidded straight across concrete. And I mean, on the aerial footage I was showing there on my video, yeah, it's not a very big thing. It's only like they said about 12, 18-inch sets of rollers or a couple of pairs of them.
Gotcha.
And that rollers are always missing because people damage them. It's kind of hell getting across to begin with, even using the rollers, but using them at speed, hitting that thing at speed.
Gotcha. All right. Yes. So special shout out to Cerebral Tackle, guys. And remember, the link for his video is in the description. He has some aerial footage, some different takes on some things too, guys. So make sure you click that link and take a look at his video. Really, really appreciate you hopping into the live stream this evening.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me, man. It's been awesome. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're still rolling. Just let me
know. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Just let me know if
I'm loving your chat, man. Your chat. You got some good folks in your chat.
Oh yeah, we're rolling. Hey man, we have the best chat on YouTube in here on Tuesday nights.
I'm loving it.
All right, yeah, they get a little wild in here sometimes too. And another thing, guys, I did drop the link. I'm going to drop the link in the chat again. And like I said, I like hearing both sides of things. So if there's someone who feels like there's some information that's being left out or some things that is in more support of what Keith Poche's decision was, feel free to hit that link and I can bring you up for a few minutes, and then we can kind of exchange some ideas and opinions, thoughts, facts, all that good stuff on the topic. All right, so we have Joseph checking in again. He says, love G-Man and Keith both. Right, I agree with that. He says, when you fish that hard, you have to push every angle you can. You roll the dice sometimes and you get ruled against you, even if you are mostly right. So yeah, man, you just never know. But hey, that's what I said. When you get that vision, you're like, hey man, I got to get this win. Sometimes you'll put your life on the line when you really shouldn't be doing that. But hey, you can't really see it at the time. So we kind of do need some people that kind of keep us in line at times to keep us from doing things that we shouldn't. All right, let me see. Larry Ellis says G-Man is one who needs to be explaining rules when he's broken rules by his reckless driving. Hey man, I've kind of done a few things like that too. But he says, let me see, that to me is a hell of a lot more dangerous to other anglers. Yeah, so that thing when he cut through those people, that there to me was kind of scary.
That was bad. That was a bad look.
Yeah, and I did see a clip where he was at the weigh-in. He was talking about it. He was kind of emotional about it. So like I said, whenever you're out there in that competition, sometimes you get that vision, tunnel vision, and then you look at it later and like, oh man, I really feel bad about doing that. You know what I mean? And so for me, when I showed that footage where I was sinking on Gunnersville, I was thinking the whole time, like, I'm glad I don't have a co-angler, because when it was happening, I still had that vision, like, man, I'm making it back to this weigh-in. I'm getting those fish back. But if I would have had a co-angler, he would have been like, I would have had to drop him off at the bank, because he was like, I'm not going down with the ship with this one, because I did have a problem getting back on plane. You saw that water in there.
Oh,
And
I've been the co-angler in that position on Sam Rayburn.
right. Yeah. I was so
We
glad I
speared
didn't.
one. It knocked the bilge pumps loose, knocked the live well pumps loose, where the live wells were then going back into the boat, filling up the boat. When we got back, we were literally hip deep in water. And we had to idle all the way back 6 miles to the ramp.
Wow.
And I had a young, fresh co-angler, green as a gourd. Great guy, by the way. Fantastic dude, friends to this day. But this is one of his first tournaments. He's sweating bullets. Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep it together so that he doesn't lose his crap. And I'm laying back on the back of his fishing ski on the back bench seat, just chilling out, acting like I'm asleep, like there's not a care in the world. He's got this, trying to help him.
Right.
Meanwhile, keeping one eye open, going, I hope we don't die.
Oh, man.
I mean, it was nuts. I mean, I know exactly what you mean.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. Shout out to Doty Fishing. He says, apologies for my tardiness. I had to wash the bass off of me.
That's a good problem, Dottie.
Oh, look
That's
at
a
Doty.
good problem.
Look at Doty Fishing out there, sliding that in there, letting us know he's been out there doing his thing. Shout out to you.
Let's see how it is.
All right. Then we have Joseph says, he says, you had a couple of things working against you. Smaller boat, trying to cross the center of the channel, not having dual bilge pumps, not enough experience. Hey, man, what's going on? Okay, you're right. I didn't have
Little shade there on the end.
Yeah, I mean, but that's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. I can't really say anything about that. You got me on that one. All right. Then we have Lewis says, I don't know Keith Poche from a fly on the wall, but it's suspicious for him to ask wildlife, but not the director. I think he knew he would get his yes and did not want a no from the director. Yeah. So I mean, yes. I mean, I've seen people kind of speculating on that. But yeah, definitely checking in with taking the information. Once you gathered all that information and taking it to the tournament director would be a good thing just in just about any situation, because it doesn't hurt. And I haven't ran into any tournament directors that are just, not, I would say, not nice people or not, not willing to help you out. So
yeah,
I personally,
they'll give you the answers. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right, so let's see what else we have. And then once again, special shout out to Jay Carr over here from Cerebral Tackle. He says, thanks, Cerebral Tackle, for leading me to this channel, enjoying the content. Really, really appreciate you being here. Special shout out to you. And if you guys take a look at the bottom of the screen, you see that banner scrolling through. It says, thank you to the Cash App crew, official MoneyBass, and also special thank you so much to the sponsor of the show, because this channel is sponsored by you guys, the viewers and subscribers to the channel. Special thank you so much to the sponsor of the stream, Jay Carr. Really, really appreciate that. All right, then let's see. Joseph says, hell, son, bad decisions make me. Oh, yeah, we see you getting active in the chat every week, Joseph, about all kinds of stuff. All right, let's see. Let me see. So like I said, guys, I'm just trying to get caught up. So I'm going through here, shouting out the Money Team and reading those messages because they stand out, and it's easy for me to kind of get caught up in the chat whenever I do that. All right, so special shout out to Ivy Moore. Says rules are not the problem. It's the person that thinks it's a loophole in the deal. Okay, like you must let the co-angler fish, or am I wrong? All
As
right.
someone who has been back-ended by some folks.
Oh man,
Ivy,
listen.
Love you.
That's a whole different live stream. So I might have to bring you back on
that personally.
Look, I might have to bring you back on that one, because me and some of my other friends, we always go back and forth. Sometimes I'm like, man, backboating and stuff like that isn't really a thing, especially whenever you have live imaging and you can see that the fish are right here. So you see that boater fishing up here, but guess what? You can turn that live imaging and face it backwards, and if there's fish back there, that co-angler is saying, I'm getting backboated. But is he getting backboated if there are fish back there? He may not be able to see them, but is he being backboated?
That's interesting. To me, that all, yeah, well, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna do, because I have some sports opinions on that. But yeah, to me, it's all about boat positioning.
Right, but
you're right though. You're right. In your scenario, you're absolutely right.
All right, so guys, I see some guys in the chat. I know we're here to talk about, but just let me squeeze in this one other thing. So tell me a boat position where it would be backboating.
I know straight up in a dock, a man fishing a multi-stall dock in a marina, and your butt's parked back there in the back, and you can't reach because you can't throw forward.
All right, now check this out. turn the boat around and say the boater is facing the other way, where you're saying the co-angler was just being backboated and that boater is catching fish, but that co-angler is facing the dock and he's not catching fish.
I've never ran into that. You know why? Because every boater I've ever fished with had his nose up that dock's
Right.
butt.
Because
You know that.
But listen,
I'm not sure. I've never seen the situation because I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It can always exist.
see, I need to
But
put
it's
some
not
of
a
my footage.
pattern I've ever heard of.
See, I need to put some of my footage online because whenever I'm fishing some of these BFLs, I have my boat turned exactly that way. And I'm fishing where the co-angler would say that he's being backboat because I can see the fish are there, but the co-angler can't see those fish. So they may say, oh, this is just dead water, but there's fish there. You follow what I'm saying?
You're saying the co-angler's up against the dock and you're facing out away from it.
And I'm facing away from it. And I can
at that point, I'd be ignoring you. I'd be picking apart that dock with my shaky head. I wouldn't give
right. But then if that co-angler sees that boater catching fish, they're gonna be like, hey man, I'm getting left out of that party. I want to be facing that way.
I'm a bit of a different co-angler. I find a way.
All right, so look,
I'll go JDM on them. I don't care.
We'll save this. We'll save this one for later because I'm gonna do is go out and actually get some footage. I will bring some footage showing you exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's the thing. If that co-angler is catching fish, they're not gonna say they're backboated. But if they are catching fish, I'm being backboated, and so you should be back either way.
Are you saying backboating doesn't exist?
Am I?
Oh. Yeah, we're going to go into that. We're going to go into that because I got some stories for you too.
All right. Look, we might have to chat. We might have to meet on the lake. I'll get on the back of the boat, and if you can stop me from catching the fish and you catch fich, then that might be a challenge right there.
Challenge accepted. Thumbs up. You do this, yeah. Let's go, Leroy Jenkins style. I don't care. Let's run right in there.
All right. Let me hop back in here. So we said Ivy Moore says, I live and fish 24/7. All right. So Ivy Moore is getting busy in the chat. Slow the speed down. Are you talking about the chat? Maybe you're talking about the chat because I think it's moving. So like I said, I'm hopping through here trying to get through the MoneyTeam chats real quick, and then maybe I will be able to hop in and get some of the other ones. Let's see what Joshua had to say. Joshua says, so this isn't a MoneyTeam chat, but it looks like he may have said something interesting. He said, if they have the rollers to get into the other side of the dam the proper way and you don't use it, then I would, don't use it, then I would, then you have now used an unfair advantage. Just my opinion, no actual fact. All right. So, hey, opinions are welcome. So that was a good one. All right. Reasonable. Then we have Joseph. And like I said, guys, I did drop the link in the chat. So I'll drop the link in here again, guys. If anybody wants to come up, because like I said, I do want to hear somebody on the other side. Because like I said, right now, it seems like there's a lot of information that's upholding the disqualification. But what is the information that would say that it should not have been upheld is kind of what I want to people to chime in. And I'm trying to find it in the chat too, but I'm not really seeing it too much. And I hope I'm not missing it because like I said, I am trying to zoom through here and get caught up real quick. All right. And let's see. So we have Joseph stepping in. He says, oh, Harry, no, not the sponsorships. Okay. So yeah, you guys are getting, I know what Harry's in here talking about. All right. Let's see what else we have. Let's see. All right. We're moving. Special shout out to Mark Scott. And if you guys take a look at Mark Scott, you see he has that logo right next to his name. That means Mark Scott has been a long time member of the MoneyTeam. So like I said, I just recently updated the banners, the badges for the members of the MoneyTeam. So if you have that 1, that 2, that 3, or that 6, that kind of represents how long you have been a member of the MoneyTeam. So anybody that has that 2 badge means that they have been a member of the MoneyTeam from 2 to 5 months. But once you see Mark Scott in here, Mark Scott is stepping in strong. He has that 6 next to his name. So I will continually to update the badges also, guys. But special shout out to Mark Scott. Strong supporter, very, very strong supporter of the channel. Awesome. Yep. He says, just got off the lake. Hi, everyone. All right. Shout out to you. So,
Rubbing it in.
yep. Mark
Rubbing
Scott
it
is,
in.
he's always out there doing his thing. All right. Then we have another strong supporter of the channel. Haven't seen you in a while. We have Michael with High Tech Redneck Fishing stepping in. I like that name. And I haven't seen you in a while. Hope your dad has been doing fine and you've been out there doing your thing on the lake. All right. He says Ducks Unlimited and Texas Wildlife designed the 500 acres to be separated by a dam. This by design makes it 2 different impoundments.
That's it. That whole property is 3,500 acres, the whole WMA. But that 500 of it is that separate Ducks Unlimited impoundment. And it didn't come along until 1987. It wasn't part of the lake. Just the Sabine River Authority had all the marshlands and creeks and everything that are associated with the Sabine River up north of it that flows into the lake. That was just like their area of management as far as water flow and, river flow runoff into the river, or pardon me, from the river into the lake. So when they deeded that 3,500 acres to Texas Parks and Wildlife then hooked up with Ducks Unlimited to separate that 500 acres in 1987.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you got some history on it and everything. All right. Then we have special shout out again to Mark Scott, member of the Money Team. Looks like one of my subscribers is, checking out your stuff. He says, I watched this video.
Appreciate that, Mark, very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I do appreciate it.
All right. Good deal with that.
You got some good folks over here. I'm liking this.
Oh, yeah, man. We have fun in here every week. I mean, we'll cover different topics and everything. So, and that's the other thing. If anybody has any topics or anything that pops up that you want to get into, make sure you hit me on my Instagram or just check in the description. You will see how you can reach out to me. You can send me a message on Instagram and, I'll pull it up, look into it. And hey, if it looks like it's something the guys want to know about, then it may be the next live stream. All right, so let's see. Joseph says, Money, let's be honest. Some anglers fish peaceful waters while others fish hostile waters. Our bias tends to lean in the direction we often find ourselves in. Right. So if people like fishing shallow, they're going to support shallow water. People like fishing offshore using electronics, they're going to kind of push towards that. But if people like fishing like Keith Poche, I don't really see how anybody can not necessarily support that style of fishing to watch it.
I love backwaters. There's nothing wrong with fishing skinny back. And I've got a lot of hate over the last week. People say, "Oh, you're just biased. You used hate the way of fishing." No. Once upon a time, back in my big butt could get in that kind of boat and get up in there. I used to do it regularly. Loved it.
Yeah.
But to me, there's just there's always a line. And
right.
Having presided over tournaments and had people constantly pushing the boundaries and trying to find the loopholes kind of gave me a different perspective, right? It's like, okay, I've done that part now. It's like, no, it's not as easy as it looks. But yeah, I love that style of fishing.
Yeah, so make sure you guys go and check out Keith Poche's channel. It's off the grid. Well, it's Keith Poche, but if you just search Off the Grid, then you'll see his channel come up, and he's in there in the backwoods. If you take a look at last week's live stream, make sure you go back and watch that on the replay, guys. So on that, I just show a little bit of the footage, and the thing that I like about watching that is it kind of reminds me of growing up in the country where we would get up in the morning. I mean, I would be sleeping. My friend would come and tap, 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 tap on the window right before the sun is coming up. We grab our fishing poles. We go walking way off in the woods, go fishing. Whoever had the pork and beans at their house, we'd go back and and that's where we'd eat the fish.
That's the stuff right there.
Then we'd grab our BB guns and we'd go out squirrel hunting and rat. I mean, the adults, they were using real guns, but we were using BB guns. But we, it take us a little longer, but we would come back with a little something. And there was one time we were chasing this one squirrel. We saw that thing and we chased it for had to be like 3, 4, 5 miles. And then eventually it went in a hole in a tree after all of that work. So we were like, oh, nah, we're not going to give up. So I guess we had to Keith Poche that fish. So what we did is one of us stayed at that tree and the other one left and went back and got an axe and a saw and some matches.
Oh my gosh. So y'all going hardcore after a squirrel.
Listen, we chopped the tree down. We chopped the tree down and then started trying to dig in the holes to get the squirrel out of there. It wouldn't come out. So then we had to smoke him out. So we put some paper and smoked him, and eventually came out. But that wasn't the end of it. I mean, he came out and took off running again. So we had to start back chasing him again. But it kind of reminds me of that thing. So he's going through the woods, he's cutting down trees, he's jumping over all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I mean, to me, it just reminds me of the good days of hanging out and growing up to me. So
that squirrel has grandkids with wanted pictures of your face. I guarantee to you.
Oh yeah, man.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. All right, let's see what else we have. We have Cajun Rob checking into the live stream. He says, Joseph always bring the heat like Cajun cooking. All right. So yeah, Joseph is always getting active in the comments. He says, Rob, you know I prefer fishing out of the patrol boats. All right, let's see. What is this that we have here? We have another super chat. Jay Carr said, hey, if nobody else wants to sponsor the show, I'll double sponsor the show. He hit the channel with another $5 super chat. Special shout out to Jay Carr. And if you guys take a look, he is already the current sponsor of the live stream. All right, so what does he say? Jay Carr says, Cerebral Tackle taught me from many states apart to river fish. Third cast in his, what is that? In his, is that boat? I caught my first trout. Can't remember which trout. Wow.
Yeah, it was a big old brown trout. Jay Carr landed a big old brown on a bait. I sent out that way.
Special shout out to that. And actually, the first fish I caught was a rainbow trout in the state of Washington, Tacoma, Washington. Rainbow trout. Yep.
I love some trout.
A good deal with that. And special shout out to Jay Carr. Really, really appreciate the strong support of the channel. All right, let me see. I got to read this one. That name, Eat, Squawk, Poop, Repeat.
You know what that means, right?
No, I don't.
Seagull.
What is it?
A seagull. It's in reference to a seagull.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. All right. So it said, let me see. So Eat Squawk says, I've seen quite a few boaters get their butts kicked by the non-boater. That's true. That can be true.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
I used to make it my business.
So is that kind of supporting my side of things?
To say that for the debate.
All right, then we have Ivy Moore saying, once I start catching fish, turn up the trolling motor. That's not supposed to go like that. To stop me from getting my back. Okay, well, hold on. That's
okay. So there's no back ending, huh? So there's
that's
not right?
back ending. Listen, okay, hold on.
Okay.
Let's say the co-angler is back there and hooks a fish and starts reeling it in. The boater runs down, sits in the cockpit, starts the boat and starts driving. That's not back ending. That's something else. Taking off with the trolling motor is not back end. That's something else. I don't know what that's called, but I would not.
Oh, I got some names for it, but I don't want to get you demonetized. But I got some names for it. I can tell you real quick what that is.
Nah,
it ain't pretty.
So that's something, but that would not fall in the cat. So no, that would just be illegal. That would no, you can't.
Let me ask you a question. Let's say the boater's fishing, because I had this exact experience happen. Fishing with a Shimano DC, right? He can get far away into the wind, not have to worry about backlashing.
All
he
right.
turns that boat around to where the back's facing the brush pile. And then from the front of the boat, casts square over my freaking head as far as he can, knowing I can't reach that area with the equipment I got. I was fresh into tournaments. I didn't have that good gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's throwing this freaking 10 miles hitting this brush pile. Big sea rig guy. All he ever does is sea rig.
Okay.
Always in deep water. And so he's Carolina rigging that and catching fish. I can't turn around and throw the front of the boat because then I'll be throwing over his head. I can't turn around and throw over my own butt because that's where he's throwing. That's front end of a
okay, hold on. Wait a minute. You said that the boater is casting over the back of the boat?
Yeah, he turned the boat around to where the brush pile we were fishing was way behind the boat, right?
Okay.
So he turns it around and then he throws over my head way over to the brush pile. And I've got literally nowhere to throw.
Wait a minute. So just to make sure I'm understanding, he is at the front of the boat, turned around, casting over the back of the boat.
Yes, square over my freaking head.
Yeah, I would say that's still not what back ending or back boating. That's just against the tournament rules. He can't do that.
That's wanting to go for a swim is what that is. That's wanting to get wet.
Yeah, I don't think.
You know how I end up having to defeat that? I ended up taking some spinning gear I had and loading up the ugliest, heaviest Carolina rig you have ever seen. I mean, I'm talking, I must have had 6 egg sinkers on this thing. Looked like I was walleye cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And I launched that son of a gun as far as I could on that open bell with that spinning reel, hit the edge of that brush pile, ended up with big bass for the day. Now, when I bring in this 6.5 pound fish, he's livid. I get that fish in, I'm happy. You know why? It's my home lake, and I've never zeroed on my home lake. And that day for boater draw, I drew the biggest jerk in the planet with this particular
Oh
organization.
man,
And he hated my guts.
Yeah.
I bring that fish in. I'm just happy. My non-zero streak is intact. I bring it into the boat. All I'm doing is smiling. I'm not showboating. I'm not saying anything. He turns around, looks at me, goes, "Well, aren't you just ready for the effing classic?" And I'm like, all I did was catch a fish, man. I put it in the live well. But I tell you something, I was still going home with a smile because I had big fish, and I kind of got him at his own business there.
Oh
But
yeah.
I knew when I drew him on that lake, I was like, oh, I'm on zero now. Here goes my streak. I'm zero. He tried.
Yeah.
It was my only fish of the day, but I didn't care.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, that would not be back. That would be called something else. So I need to come up with another name.
Oh, yeah. I had some names for him afterwards.
All right. What does Eek Squawk say? Says, Ivy Moore also seen the boater refuse your half of the day in tournaments that require them to. What is that?
All the time.
So you mean like when they have to, the boater may get the first half and the co-angler gets the second?
Yeah. And you know how I got around that? I got around that by saying, okay, what's the pattern the gentleman's on? If the guy's on a productive pattern, I'm not going to say anything. And I've actually got a couple videos on co-angler etiquette, and I mentioned this for like, I'm not going to say a word. If he's doing good and he's productive, I don't want to get him out of his pattern and screw with his day. However, if he's struggling and I've got my water, I'm going to say something. Because at that point, not only do I still want to be on fish, but if I can get him on fish too, it might help foster a relationship there if I do it right. So, but as far as a routine, the non-boaters getting half their time, no, it hardly ever happens.
Gotcha.
Never enforced, really, that's for sure.
Okay.
Or if you do throw a penalty flag, you're going to get ostracized.
All right, let's see. Let me hop back in here real quick. Where are we at? Let's see. Okay, here we go. So Paul hopping in and saying, was it or was it not? Hold on. Was it or was it not waters on the other tournament waters on the other side? So I think they were saying that yes, it was tournament waters on the others. Yeah. Well, did they say that it was tournament waters on that? Because they said that it was public waters. I've heard them say that it was public.
They said that there was a bit. There's a bit of a Bass doesn't like to. How do I put this? Their official statement for it after the appeal, after the ruling was upheld, was very vague. They like to keep a lot of that stuff in house. But in talking to people I talked to, here's my understanding. Because it's part of the WMA, it could be considered legal waters if it can be accessed legally from a tournament standpoint. But because it was not accessed legally from a tournament standpoint, it's off limits.
Gotcha.
That's possibility number one. And I say possibilities because they're not coming out and saying exactly. They're giving the rule. Then you have to interpret from the rule what happened, right?
Right.
So that's possibility number one. The other possibility is what we looked at on the map, of that little red line there. If he crossed into that no man's land based upon his own maps and then cut that left back into the rest of the impoundment, they can say that when he cut through that area that wasn't enclosed, that's not part of the WMA, he crossed out of tournament waters to cross back into, and he can be DQ'd for that too. Those are the only two options of how that DQ went down under that rule.
Gotcha. So from your experience, why do you think that they're not specifying, that they're not giving the details? Because even though you use a vague rule, but then you can say within this vague rule, what you did is this, and we consider that violating that rule. Does that kind of make sense?
It absolutely does. And I I agree that I, like everyone else, I think would like some more clarification on it, would like that fog cleared. Absolutely. However, I think the reason they do it is because they want it dead. Why? Because they have other business to attend to. I don't think they're trying to cover anything up or there's any bias. I think it's more of a, we'll have to deal with this in the future, possibly with somebody else, another lake, another body of water, whatever, whether it be river, who knows. So let's just keep it under and make it by a case-by-case basis.
Gotcha.
Making it by a case-by-case basis and not publicly putting out that precedent gives them the leeway to handle the rules the way they feel like they need to on a case-by-case basis. Does that make sense?
Right.
It's not like they're the Supreme Court releasing this ruling of this is exactly why.
Right.
That gets them hemmed in. And let's face it, a lot of DQs are absolutely situational. And they just want that ability to operate in that situational capacity.
Gotcha. All right. So Jay Carr says, I fished in Louisiana. You must fish like Keith. I fished down there a few times too. You have to cross a few things every now and then.
Oh, yeah. Those backwaters are real. Those gators are real too.
Then we have Doctor Who Design says, I wonder what happened to that squirrel.
Good point. Did you ever get him? You never wrapped that up. Did you ever finally get him?
Oh yeah, we got it.
Oh,
we were some troopers. We come listen. We were. I mean, I don't even know if we were teenagers then. But we pretty much lived in the woods. I mean, we leave in the morning to be out there fishing, come right back and go right back with our BB guns and stay out there. We put food in our pockets, so we walk around with biscuits and different stuff like that in our pockets, and that's what we eat all day.
Don't you miss those days? Wasn't that a blast?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't have to worry about too much of anything.
Not come home till the mosquitoes were eating you up.
That's it. And then be out there trying to figure out how to make your own mosquito repellent, taking leaves and mud and different stuff. Like, hey, will this stop it? But hey, trying to figure so you don't have to go back home.
Flashbacks. Woo.
Yep. All right. Then we have Lewis says, you are a warrior, MoneyBass. Get that squirrel. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, we needed something for lunch. Cajun Rob says, squirrel money.
Squirrel money.
Money squirrel. All right. And he says, not at the least. That was Eat Squawk. I can't remember what that may have been referring to. All right. So Jay Carr says, my first fish was a largemouth bass. Okay. All right. Then shout out to Joseph says, that's why I don't fish tournaments where you have to take a co-angler. You don't know. If I don't know you, you ain't boarding my battleship. Oh,
come on, Joseph. Come on, man. That's hard. Come on now.
All right. Shout out to Ivy Moore says that is straight not allowing the co-angler to fish. So I guess he's agreeing with you. But I mean, unless he's talking about, because he didn't specify. So maybe he's talking about starting the motor up and taking off. Because I did have somebody that told me somebody did that to them. They said they told the boater, they were like, oh, I got a fish. And while they were trying to reel fish in the boater, instead of coming to get the net, they sat down and started up the big motor.
I had one blow past me like that when I was fishing off a multi-stall dock. I'll get that later. Yeah. He got mad. He got real mad.
Yeah. All right. So Cajun Rob says, hey, Money, how about a boater that says he doesn't use a net because he says he's a real pro in a BFL? I lost 2 keepers at the boat that day. Really? That's ugly. I would say that's still not back ending or back boating. That's something else.
That's just being a jerk. That's just being Dirty Deer Co.
There we go. Look at this name right here. Flipping with 65-pound braid pullback. Now, I know you caught some big fish with a name like that. Flipping with 60-pound braid pullback. All right. Says you should have dropped your pants and blasted off the back of the boat. I bet he would have turned around and chunked the other way. Oh, you know goodness.
What? This is going to sound messed up. This is going to sound real messed up. But I have some stories for another day where I did have to use psychological warfare to get in some heads. And let's just say it did involve me disrobing. I will say that. And let me tell you, it worked. It worked. Nothing gets in a man's head than seeing this dude. Yeah, trust me. Trust me. It's
Oh,
stuff that they're
man.
probably still getting counseling for.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Then Joseph says, CT speaking that true. All right. We have Michael with High Tech Redneck Fishing stepping in again. Says, when Keith posted his opinion on the DQ on social media, violates Rule 7.
Yes, it does.
Oh, man.
Yes, it does. Code of
Yes.
conduct. Absolutely.
And so the thing about that is it is at their discretion, because obviously it's right there, but they're choosing not to do anything about it. So
yeah, I think they're letting him blow off his steam, hoping he'll blow off his steam.
Right.
I think if he continues to charge forward, they may drop the ban hammer. But I think that's in there for like one of those rules is worst case scenario. Like it's the old, what around and find out graph.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The more you know what around, the more you find out.
Right. Yeah.
He hadn't hit that 10 yet. But if my man Poche hits that 10, they're going to say, Rule 7, done.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking that at the time he may not have realized that rule, because he was saying things like he has a right to speak his mind and say what he thinks and things like that. But you kind of actually signed that away.
Yeah, you do.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Kind of like an NDA. All right.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Ivy Moore, let's see, says, okay, what about his boater? His boater catches his fish. Let me see, 6 hours into the days, go take about 45 minutes to get back to the lock, and then 3 wakes once we get through something wrong with the motor. Okay, so that just sounds like a bad day. So you did all of that, then you got back and something was wrong with the motor. So did you even make it back? Man, okay.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Man, that's rough.
All right, then Jay Carr says, Michael, what is Rule 7? What was Rule 7? What were they referring to?
That's the code. That's the code of conduct.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's where they're talking about don't blast them on social media. Don't talk about the tournament officials, all that good stuff.
And that you've agreed to accept the ruling and all that kind of that may not have been in 7, but it's in there somewhere. All right.
Yeah, I thought 7 was the code of conduct, I believe.
Right, it probably is. Yeah.
And so at least instead of like numbers underneath, it's just 7 and a bunch of bullet points. So I think that's where that's at.
Right. And for anybody,
right,
yeah. And for anybody that's interested, I did link the tournament rules for the BassMaster Open down in the description. So if you want to click on that and just have some leisurely fun reading, you can pull that up.
There was a Rule 6 that he pulled out that he talked about being having to research the waters himself. But he did that though. That wasn't the rules for the Open. That was for the Elite Series and the Classic.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So he went to a different rule book, grabbed that rule because it supported his opinion, what he did. It doesn't say that in the Opens. In the Opens, it says ask the TD. In the Elite Series and the Classic, it says research your own waters.
Gotcha.
And I think what they're doing is I'm assuming they're taking kind of a more of a hands-off approach. Like, what do you feel is smart? And if it ain't smart, they're going to snatch you up and DQ you in the Classic, because we all seen plenty of DQs coming to the Classic. Been plenty.
Yeah.
Somebody wearing a cone on his head, not saying any names, that knows how to drive up an island in the Sabine River, not saying any names.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like they happen in the Classic.
Man.
So, yeah, I think that's why they did that.
All right. All right. Shout out to Joseph, member of the Money Team. He says, no, man, absolutely no. 100% too much liability. With my PTSD, I might strangle someone like it's my job. I think he might be referring to when I said, at what point would somebody step in and say that, no, you can't jump. I don't feel comfortable with you jumping that. If they jump it at 6 inches versus 10 feet or 5 feet or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, that that reminds me of a little skit on Chappelle's show. Am I gonna have to choke a boater?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, look at this. Shout out to Jay Carr. He says, Grandma gave me biscuit with breakfast sausage and a mason jar of sweet tea. I caught grasshoppers and put in a Dr. Pepper bottle and some liver. gone at sunup. So yeah, that does remind me. So when my friend would come and tap on that window and I'd be getting dressed and I'd be on my way to run out the door, it still wouldn't be daylight outside yet. My grandmother would be in there and cook.
Mhm.
She would already know that I was about to take off, and she would cook
Yep.
some biscuits, bacon, sauce, something, and I'd take it, wrap it up in a napkin, and stick a bunch of them in my pocket and head out the door.
That's it. For me, it was the worst combination. I mean, I know it's going to gross a lot of people out. Probably going to lose some people here. A V8 and a tuna sandwich from the gas station.
Oh,
Breakfast
not the
of
gas,
champion.
not
Yeah,
the
it's
gas
nasty.
station.
Yeah, but hey, it got me through that and a bag of Doritos, and I was happy.
Yeah, man, not the gas station. All right, let me just check something. Oh my goodness, guys. We just got a $50 cash app. Whoa, I heard something go jingle jingle on my phone. Special shout out to Justin Ott. Is Justin in the chat? I haven't seen it. Okay, wait a minute. There's Justin right here. What does Justin have to say? He says here in Louisiana, that's a normal fishing day. He says 50 viewers sending you $1 for each
That's
viewer.
awesome, Justin. Thank you.
Whoa.
That's awesome, man. Appreciate that. That is awesome.
Wow.
There you go.
Special shout out to Justin for that. Really, really appreciate it. And hey, that means I have to get in here and do a little bit of work because Justin has now taken over for the sponsor of tonight's live stream. Really, really appreciate it. I did finally get caught up in the chat. So, I mean, let's see what this means because I got to give a special shout out to Jay Carr. Let's see. Jay Carr dropped the 5 and then let me see. I can't leave him out. Where is it at? Where is it at? There we go. So Jay Carr, special shout out to you. But Justin has stepped in and said, hey, hold up, swole up. Let me just slide you over a little bit because I'm going to step in and be the sponsor of tonight's live stream. All right, guys. So let me hop in here and change this banner real quick. All right, where are we at? Make sure I get this right. Have to put some respect on his name. All right, we have Justin checking in. Let me hit the save. So now if you guys take a look at the banner, special thank you so much to the sponsor of the stream, Justin. And thanks to all of the super chats and everybody that supports the channel. And really thanks to everybody for getting active in the comments. Like I say, each week, getting active in the comments, guys, really helps, you know, put some life into the live stream.
Yes,
make sure we get in here and have a great time with everything, going through all the comments and all that and kind of make it interactive. And I see nobody really wants to hop up on the stage this time. I did drop the link in there, but yeah, you know, sometimes people want to kind of just hop in the comments and just kind of stay in there. Every once in a while, somebody will come up. But yeah,
I like the chat. You got a good chat though. You got a good strong chat, man. I'm liking these folks.
Oh, yeah, we get active in here in the chat. Let me see. Where was that? I lost my spot in here. Okay, hold on just a second. Let me hop back in here and find where Justin was at. Because, yeah, they're moving in here in the with these comments. All right, so, yeah, let me hop over here real quick to, let me see. All right, so let's see. So, Michael with High Tech Redneck Fishing, longtime supporter and subscriber of the channel. He says, just so you guys know, I respect Keith's opinion, even if I don't agree. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. So to me, even when there's different disagreements and things like that, to me, it's not about the person, you know, it's just about the argument that the person has.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's
right,
true. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Then we have Joseph checking in. He says tournaments aren't fun fishing, entirely different situation. You're under tournament rules, discretion, and conditions. That is right. And got to pull this back up again. Special shout out to Justin. I mean, I don't really get cash apps too often. I just heard something ding, ding, ding on my phone. I was like, let me take a look. Yeah, shout out to you, Justin. Really, really appreciate that. All right, then let's see. We have Ivy Moore stepping in. Says, yes, but with no bass for me. All right, and he also says, I don't want to be rude to a boater, but it seems I'm going to have to put the bass back in my voice to let them know I ain't playing no games. Uh-oh, come on, Ivy. Come on, Ivy.
There you go. Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I've only run into a couple of them, but I get it. I get it.
Hey, looks like somebody likes your choice of, what was it that you said again? Pickle juice and tomato sauce?
Oh no, V8, V8.
I'm just messing with you.
You know, pickle. Okay, I see. Yeah, right.
Wait, so you said V8 and
I never had the cojones to actually do the pickle juice. I thought about it. I've been dehydrated up before. I've thought about it. Don't get me wrong. But to me, it was always that V8. Even though all my friends just walk away. They see me pick up the jar and walk away.
Oh yeah, it looks like you don't have too many fans of that. Not the gas station. They're like, no. Sometimes beans and Vienna sausage. Now see, me and Jay Carl, we might have hung out when we were younger, because that was the fishing meal right there. You had to have the Vienna sausage or potted meat and crackers. You had to have
potted meat. Yep, potted meat. There you go. There you go.
Look, I don't know what was in that stuff now. I mean, I'd have to get kind of hungry to eat it now.
But I don't know how we survived our youth if you think about it. Out there fishing, handling chicken livers, handling grasshoppers, earthworms we dug out of the ground. Then we turn around and eat.
Right.
How the hell are we still alive? You know what I mean? It's like it's a miracle,
to go and get our earthworms and stuff right out of the pig pen and head straight out.
Yeah. How are we sitting here?
Yeah.
Oh man, trust me. At that point, gas station food was luxury.
All right, then we have Jay Carr says, awesome, Justin. New sponsor, way to go. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Justin and shout out to Jay Carr. Really, really appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate you supporting the channel. All right, Joseph says, money about to give up the juice on the old man cramp relievers after a long day.
That's it. Yep.
Oh, goodness. He's talking about that pickle juice ain't always as bad as a Charlie horse. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah,
right.
Oh man,
ain't that the truth?
All right, then we have Michael with High Tech Redneck Fishing. I like saying that name. Says, let me see, Dr. Who Design. You have never had a QT biscuit and Monster Energy drink combo.
And Michael, that's where I got my sandwiches from.
Oh man,
good old QT. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't do that
anymore. I know you got plenty of QTs out in your neck of the woods too.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place out here. You passed 3 of them just to make it to the interstate.
Yeah, right.
All right. Then we have Cajun Rob says bologna on hand. Oh yeah. We used to do the bologna. You had to let it puff up in the middle. You know what I mean? Whenever you're cooking it, and take the little red ring.
The hell,
take the little red ring around the edges of it.
Where man, you see, and where we put this stuff, like the first boat I rented when I was like 12, 13 years old, we just saw a storage compartment. We didn't realize there was a damn live well. And we put it in the live well with our dadgum loaf of bread and stuff, dig it out later, slap it together, eat it. But hey, still here.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, look, and with that bologna, I mean, once you knew what you were doing, you go ahead and put that X down the middle. You put that slice of that so it doesn't bubble up and it doesn't just burn around the edges of it. So you had to.
When you're frying it, yep.
Yeah, you got to get that technique right. All right, then we have Eat, Squawk, Poop, Repeat. Mr. Seagull checking in says, heck, we can't survive those foods now, much less while handling chicken livers. Oh, yeah, I can't eat that stuff now.
Oh, God.
Jay Carr's talking about I love chicken juice. All right. Joseph says Michael going to be bringing up Bojangles soon. Oh, man. Now, see, that was kind of upper level. If you get some Bojangles, that's kind of stepping it up a little bit whenever you get some of that Bojangles.
Now, see, I'm unfamiliar. You have to school me on Bojangles.
So that is Bojangle biscuits. So I think they have chicken and stuff there, but the thing about Bojangles was the biscuits. So you always want, so Bojangles, yeah. So yeah, Google that one and pull up.
I'm gonna have to. I won't have to. Yep,
yeah. All right. So Jay Carr says, got my best worms out of my horse's manure pile. Huge worms. So yeah, I never did that. By the time I got old enough we didn't have a horse anymore at that point. But yeah, the pig pens, I mean, there were some real big worms that we would get out of there.
Oh man. See, I can't imagine. I was country with a lot of city. So there were certain lines I couldn't bring myself to do. I'm ashamed to admit it now. I'm embarrassed to admit now. I got some country friends that used to take me out on their property.
Yeah,
basically just to make fun of me. I mean, just to show what a city arse I was and just mess with me. And it
Mhm.
worked. And it was a ton of fun. I look back on it, best times of my life.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And look at Ivy Moore. What is Ivy Moore talking about? Now this is come on.
Now that's
Salmon,
going highbrow.
yeah, salmon croquet and plantain crackers. No, man, that's not what you eat. Salmon, that sounds like something you went to a restaurant. We're out picking berries and eating crab apples and all kind of stuff like that whenever we're out in the
man.
woods. And Ivy's bringing
crab
salmon
apples.
croquet.
Oh, whoa.
Oh yeah, you have to do what you have to do when you're out there sometimes. when those biscuits run out of your pocket, you have to find something to keep going, or either you have to go home. And sometimes when you come home, they'd be like, you can't go back out. So you try to make sure you don't go back as long as you can, so you can.
I wouldn't be hitting those blackberries. If I found a blackberry patch, it was over, except for the chiggers.
Oh man, yeah, those was terrible. That was terrible.
Hate chiggers.
I think everybody does. That was not fun.
No, you can't just get one. You get like 100 from your ankles to your unmentionables.
That's right.
You don't get any. That's like the only way chiggers work. They come with the whole army.
That's right. Yeah. Bad times. All right. Then Joseph says, put them spinner baits in the Bojangles bag once you're done and shake them up for a cent. Now, I hadn't heard that one. All right. Then Jay Carr says, eat squawk. I use cow livers. Wow. Okay. So yeah, you're going high tech on that. We never had cow livers. I was on a dairy farm. Okay. All right. Then Joseph says, can't say crackers anymore. That's tuna on crunchy square bread wafers.
Oh, that's just missed out. That is funny.
Oh, goodness. Funny. Oh my goodness. See, I mean, hey, I haven't been around much. I'm kind of out in the woods, so I don't really keep up with all the current events. All right, then Jay Carr says they are great. All right, then we have Cajun Rob chicken back in. What does Cajun Rob say? Cajun Rob says, what is that?
Buc-ee's? You know what Buc-ee's is?
Oh, I was about to say Boosie's. I was like, what is that? 2 Buc-ee's biscuit burritos at 65 miles per hour now.
Oh. Yeah. Do you have Buc-ee's that where you're at?
I don't know. The name sounds familiar, but
it is a massive tourist-like truck stop. I mean, massive.
Okay, yeah, so we do because somebody did, but I think I passed by one and somebody started talking about it.
Oh yeah, they're pretty cool.
We have Bill Meeks talking about the beanie weenies, was my personal favorite. Oh yeah, the beanie weenies. You have to have a special technique with that. See, you got to cook the sauce. You have to cook the weenies separate, so you get those nice beef franks, and you kind of put the slices in them. Then you boil those first, and then you take them after you boil them, and then you add them into the beans separate, so they can simmer and get all those good juices in there.
I was assuming he meant the cans that already had them pre-made.
He could be, but yeah, but man. I had to throw my special touch in there. I had to separate can.
That probably tastes better than what come out of the can. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, I didn't eat them out of the can. So. I get the Van Camps and get the special. I mean, if you could get the nice plump beef franks, then yeah, that was the way to do it back in the day.
What come out of the can was akin to World War I rations. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh man. All right, then we have Bill Knows What's Up. All right, yeah, with those beanie weenies. All right, Jay Carr. What does Jay Carr have to say? I did that to city friends. They cried when I told them their hamburger was possibly my calf. They had no idea where meat came from.
That's just wrong.
Hey, and that's true. That is so true. That when people act funny about that, and it's like they don't realize that what they just saw when they were driving past that field is the same thing. All right. Look, Ivy Moore says, I'm a city boy. Oh, yeah, with salmon croquets. Yeah. Okay. All right. Joseph says, peel the label off the can, set it on the deck. About 1:30, they getting right. So you just let the sun cook.
Oh, see? Yeah. Wow. Wow. You got to take the top off. Otherwise, you got botulism is what you got right there.
Yeah, that's ugly.
Wait for that can to explode. Yeah, you got to take. Oh, wow. Yeah.
All right, let's see. We'll go through a few more. Guys, look at the time. Look at the time. How time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely.
We've been rolling for 2 hours without even realizing it.
Oh man.
All right. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and let's see. So yeah, I see some guys starting to get tired a little bit. So let's see. Jay Card knows that's kind of funny. And then let's see. Eat Squawk says, Money, you keep talking about cooking. We doing it country style, straight out of the can.
The beans, yeah. Oh, whew.
I think I may have ate some out of a can once without heating them up because I was just had to get to what I needed to get to. But yeah. Then Joseph
That's
said,
all you can do sometimes.
That's
and
right.
On the road, especially you got a long road trip, shoot.
Oh yeah. Ivy says, all right, Money. Even left. What does that say, Ivy? Let me see. I guess I'm not getting that one. All right. So Joseph says, chicken hawks through the door. A city boy or two can slip through. Are you talking about chicken hawk? So I don't know if chicken hawk. So chicken hawk, just for people that don't know, he's somebody who comes. He'll pop in on my live streams every once in a while, and I bring him up. And so we were in the same bass club. So his goal would always be to try to beat me, regardless of what everybody else is doing. As long as he felt that he beat me, then he felt like he accomplished something.
We've all got one of those. We've all got one of those.
Yeah, so he wasn't very successful at that.
I had one behind me and one in front of me I wanted to get. That works.
All right, let's see. Lewis says, I love my small can of Campbell's beans and Frank's from a vending machine, not the vending machine, on a way back to the Bronx from fishing upstate. You know something? That's when I think of Bronx and up north, I didn't even realize that they fished up there.
Oh, man, let me tell you something. You would like the smallies up there at the Finger Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like yeah. To give you some of that.
Yeah, I think, because those spotted bass.
Upstate is gorgeous country. You would not expect it in New York. Okay. You look around and you'd be like, where am I at? You just would not think it's New York.
Yeah, and see, every time I've been to New York, it's always been around all the big buildings and stuff. And I'm not a building and concrete person. I like trees and dirt and stuff like that. So whenever I get in New York and places, I'm kind of jittery and just wanting to get out.
I understand that. I get that. Yeah. I would be finding one of those little city canals to fish. I would have to. I'd have to be looking at some rules, but I can't pass water and just say there's not a fish there. No. When I see water, I tell my friends all the time, posting pictures of their vacations out crazy places, not a fishing pole around. I keep telling them, and they get irritated. All I see is fish. Some mountain stream, I just see fish.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I don't care. Freaking Alps everywhere. Nope, fish. They'd hate me going along.
Let's see what J Car says. I cut them up, fried them, and added to the beans. Okay, so you fried yours. I boiled mine. All right. Then Eat Squawk says, we've been having so much fun, we forgot what we were here for. Keith, who? Hey, it happens. I mean, like I said, we've been rolling for 2 hours. Nobody really wanted to come up. And I really wanted some of the guys that were agreeing with Poche and saying he's getting the bad end of the stick to come up and kind of, put some input into it. But there weren't really too many guys that came up and said anything.
And honestly, to be honest, I was kind of thinking going into this that there'd be some of those that were setting some fires over in my comment section coming on over for a little bit of that smoke. I really thought so. I'm kind of surprised. Maybe they just don't want it. Maybe that smoke in my 5-gallon bucket of water just don't do it. Maybe that's bucket of facts.
Hey, I mean, I didn't want it to be just kind of one-sided because
I agree.
From the stuff that I've read, it seems like most of it supports the disqualification, but there are a lot of people that are real passionate and adamant that it should be overturned.
Yes, very feverish.
So, right. So I wanted to have them kind of put that out there because, to have something to stand on and be able to present what they have found.
That would have been, I totally agree with the format and what you were looking for. Yeah, it's a shame they didn't show. I honestly thought they were going to. I thought if anything, they would come just dangling me out there in the hook.
All right. Ivy Moore says, y'all got to come on down to Wisconsin. Down? If I go down, I'm going to be down in Florida and in the ocean. He says, y'all come on down to Wisconsin so y'all can get y'all some of these cheese curds. But wait a minute. Do they say y'all up there, or is he making fun of my accent? Because somebody told me I have an accent.
It might be throwing the y'all into it. Between both of us, might be throwing the y'all into it.
All right. Then all right, so yeah, I'm gonna remember that, Ivy Moore. I'm gonna remember that. I think you might be trying to make fun of my accent because somebody told me I had an accent. All right, so Cajun Rob says can of soup on the truck on the truck dash, not the can of soup. All right, J Carr said, yep. All right, let me see. Oh no. Uh-oh. Okay, guys. How many people? We still have some people in here in this chat. This person right here that has shown up. See, if you say his name too many times, this is Chicken Hawk. This is Chicken Hawk. So Chicken Hawk comes into my chat causing problems immediately, talking about he's my father. Oh,
Chicken Hawk, and he appeared.
How are you gonna come in here disrespecting my live stream? Let me drop this
3 times.
All right, Chicken Hawk. If you're still, how long ago did he leave that man? Okay, so yeah, he just left it. So Chicken Hawk, I just dropped that link. If you want to come in here and talk about how you have problems out here catching fish and you jump anything, if you could even catch a minnow, then you can come on into the chat.
That is the red cape at the bull right there. That's saying bring it.
All right, then we have Jay Carr says, okay, let me just make sure. He says, oh yeah, you want to let people know that you think. All right. So Jay Carr says, Texas in August, we cooked food in iron skillets on a rack. Okay. All right. So it gets heated out there. All right. Then we have Michael with high tech redneck fishing. Says, my dad brings peanut butter sandwiches, Vienna sausage, and peppermint patties, then flushes it down with orange Fanta. All right. Everybody has their thing. All right. Then Joseph says, I'm 1000% on Keith's side, but he dropped the ball when he didn't call.
There it is. There's the hook.
Gotcha. All right. J Carr says, Michael, we did peanuts in our Dr. Pepper bottle. Everybody has their own little special recipes going on here. All right, so Eat Squat says because they ain't got anything to stand on, they just don't like the facts. Come on, man. Come on, they have to have something. All right, Joseph says Ivy likes his country refrigerated. Okay. All right, Joseph says, told you they let anyone in here. Now we got to hear about the brake jobs. All right, so for everybody that doesn't know, so Chicken Hawk has his self-proclaimed sponsor. He'll come in here with a Duralast battery and says he is sponsored by Duralast because he's gonna beat the brakes off of me. So that's where that comes from. So he actually comes with a Duralast battery and holds it up during the live stream.
Oh, okay. and you still fish against this person, correct?
He hasn't been showing up. He's still running. See, he's sponsored by Nike too, because he has some running shoes on. Whenever I finally try to get him pinned down to the lake, he's kind of like a road runner. He's kind of like a road runner. He's gone. All right. Then we have J Carr says, too scared of CP. So yeah, didn't anybody really show up? All right, let's see. Cajun Rob. So Cajun Rob knows about Chicken Hawk. He says, Chicken Hawk, did he lose his brakes? Yeah, where's Chicken Hawk at? Yeah, you see Chicken Hawk ain't coming up here. All right, let me drop this link one more time. And then if Chicken Hawk doesn't get in here, then yeah, we'll go ahead and call it a night. All right, so Jay Carr says, y'all is a word. That's right. Y'all is a word.
It's a staple, and it's growing to the rest of the United States. It just is what it is. You know?
Where did Ivy Moore say to come to? Did he say Wisconsin?
Yeah, Wisconsin.
I need to find out if they say y'all up there. I want to know if he's making fun of our accent down here.
There may be a shot across the bow. I'm thinking, just might be.
I see. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do some research, Ivy. I'm gonna do some research on this. All right, so yeah, Chicken Hawk is still hiding, guys. He's not coming. But yeah, I'm trying to pin him down on the lake. But one of the things that we are going to be doing is setting up to do a live stream on the lake. So I will be on the lake live stream. So the same way that you see me and Cerebral Tackle on the screen, you will see me on the screen, but I will be out on my boat fishing, and you will see possibly Chicken Hawk on the other side if he shows up. So it'll be maybe like 3 or 4 of us will be up on the screen. So we'll be able to hear each other, talk to each other, kind of, you know how we do, get in here and talk a little trash to each other, see who's talking about trying to jump something and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be on here, you know, just doing that and fishing at the same time, and we'll do some live streams like that. So that's what we've been working on. So we're just still kind of working on getting the connections good and make sure
that fun. The only question is who's going to bring Hook along to check out their spot first.
Uh-oh.
You know, Hook and Look.
What is that?
You've seen that, right?
I've heard
the diving. They did some diving on Lanier and did some fantastic underwater photography of a couple of rock piles and brush piles with some big old Kentuckys on it.
Wow.
Big old spot.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to check that out so I can make sure I can go down there and snatch a few of them out of the lake.
Tell you, I like that old lake, and you know, I'll just say there's some techniques out my way that work that might not be being used out there, and I'll just have to float you a little inside information.
Okay, all right. That might work.
Let me ask you one question real quick. Do you do anything vertical on them? Do you
oh yeah,
vertical.
Oh yeah.
Then I got something you got to have.
That was my thing. I would just, if I found a school of fish and once I got on top of them, it was over.
And you got to be familiar with Buckhorn General Store, right?
Nope.
There's the bait I'm talking about. You can get at Buckhorn.
Okay.
So yeah, trust me. I got to hook up with something that you're going to try, and you're never going to tell anybody about. You're going to stuff it. Trust me.
All right.
You're going to hide it.
We'll see.
You're going to like it. All it does is catch fish. From the first cast I ever tried it. Had a buddy kept pushing on me. Saying, no. I tried it, and all it's done is catch fish.
Gotcha. All right. And look, check out Jay Carr says, money, has it worked? Has he beat you? I was about to say no, but actually out of the past 10 years, he has beat me twice. I think it's either once or twice. I think he got me twice, but out of the big scheme of thing, all of the years that, so that's why I was about to say no. But yeah,
the totality of the work, yeah.
Right? But yeah, so he'll come in here with his chest out like he just been out here just open up a can of whoop ass and breaking out that Duralast battery for years. That's what you'll think whenever Chicken Hawk gets in here. All right, so let's see. Joseph says difference is if the Hawk don't put on them, what is that, Fred Sanford glasses, he won't see any of y'all. Oh my goodness, come on, man. He can't be talking about the Hawk like that. All right, Jacob says wrong. They don't say y'all up there. Yeah, see, I'm thinking that they don't say y'all up there. Yeah, we're gonna have to get you, Ivy. You can't be down here talking about our southern accents. All right, Ivy says my people are from Tupelo, Mississippi. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Yazoo, Mississippi, and Jackson, Tennessee, but they waited to have me up here in Milwaukee. So I got a little country. And what is that? A country in me too. Love the forest and I love the woods. Okay. All right.
Okay. So that's an acceptable version of y'all.
We
with
might,
that lineage, I'll take y'all.
We might let you slide.
Yeah. I think that works.
All right. And you might be able to catch a fish or two. So we might let you slide. All right. Cajun says they say use guys. And not use guys. Oh my goodness. All right. Ivy says we talk like that, yo. Oh my goodness, not that. I'm from Milwaukee. Y'all better stop playing. We get it in just like y'all get it in. Hey man, I don't know about that, yo. All right, Cajun Ross said Hawk got that high catch ratio on 5 casts. Oh man, you don't want to mention that. That's a whole different story, but he still talks about that. Okay, so I hear some laughing. So let me just try to explain real quick what that is. All right, so I don't know if you saw, there was a video where Jacob Wheeler was talking to, was it Hunter? What's his name? Shyrock?
Yeah, Shylock, yeah.
And then I think Kyle Welcher was there, and they were talking about at one point before the fish started getting used to the live sonar, whenever it first came out, he said he would catch fish every other cast. Like his catch ratio was 50%. So I played that clip during one of the live streams, and here comes Chicken Hawk saying that he has a 50% cast to catch ratio too. And And I went through that, explained like exactly what that means. Like, so you're saying that you would cast, not catch a fish, cast, you catch a fish, cast, not catch a fish, cast, you catch. So he was like, oh yeah, he was like, yeah, I have a 50% cast to catch ratio. And I was like, so the amount of fish that you must have caught in that one day during that tournament, I mean, 50%, unless you
Are they all
cast,
dinks?
unless you, even if they were dinks, I would still be impressed.
Mhm.
But I was like, did you just cast 3 times the whole day? Like, how did this possibly happen? And so he was explaining about how he's doing. And so I was like, hold on, before you tell us about your 50% cast to catch ratio, how many times did you cast? And how many fit? And he said 5. I was like, 5. I was like, nobody wants to hear about that. Jacob Willis talking about like a whole day of fishing or some hours or something at least. You said you made 5 casts. And then I knew
it. Technicality.
But listen, it's 5 casts. 50% of 5 is how many fish?
2.5.
Right. So how did he do that? We were like, what are you talking about? And I remember it was on Gunnersville where he said that happened, because I saw him and he caught 2 fish and neither one of them were keepers out of his 5 casts. See, I'm sitting here trying to talk about him to get him, but he's not coming.
We got to get y'all on a boat. That
right.
would be gold. That would be freaking gold.
Oh my goodness.
I had a friend like that kid you not, I'm out here busting my butt, traveling everywhere, fishing tournaments. I'm about to go to a very tough tournament on a lake that's going to be bad weather. I'm stressing about trying to get to bed. I get a call from this cat's wife. He's fishing one of these, what I call kind of the gimmick tournaments, the big bass hourly tournaments, right?
Yeah.
And they had this little side rule that if you caught a bass that they weighed that was exactly 3 pounds, you win a boat.
Oh, I remember that.
So this jackwagon's wife calls me at about, I don't know, midnight, 1 in the morning. I'm just trying to get down because I got to get up, at 5 for the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, his nickname is Patch. Patch just won a boat. Patch just won a boat. He's done better than you in tournaments. I'm like, okay, time out, lady. We got to define some stuff. You just said the man, he's in a gimmick tournament. He got freaking lucky on a 3-pounder. Now you're going to say the man's got something over me? No, this conversation's done. I don't need to hear this crap as I'm trying to get to bed for a big tournament the next day. He didn't even have to, what's to call me himself. He sicks his wife on me.
Yeah.
Late at night. Well, his now ex-wife. That's a whole different story.
Uh-oh.
And so like she's sitting there calling me, yeah, he did good. He's done better than you. And I'm like, this tournament's going to wrap up and I'm coming back, right? It's like, you don't get to just say this and I just stay away. There are going to be repercussions. But the crap I took from him, oh my gosh, the crap I took. You would have thought he'd won 6 classics in a damn row.
Man.
And he's over there, I won a boat. And I'm thinking, it's like, dude, you're gonna get hurt. You just keep that up. But
oh man.
yeah,
man,
that was
something. What's going on with my screen? Hold on just a second. What just happened? What is this on my screen?
He's in.
Look here, man.
What is this on my screen?
I'm sitting back watching you putting all that disrespect on my name.
Listen, man, don't come in here messing up my live stream.
I'm coming at you, man. Now, first off, you're going to tell it correctly. You did not say, you asked me about a cast to catch ratio. And I just said, I happen to say, yeah, I've had a time where I've had a 50% catch to catch ratio. And then when we dug into it, then you said how many? I said, well, yeah, five casts. I caught. I think I said 2 fish.
Is that 50%?
Well, you look. You can write off that. I caught that. I caught the fish within the first 4. So really, the 5th cast is just whatever.
It's just a throwaway cast. That's
just a throwaway cast.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it could have been 4 casts. But the bottom line is that's what happened within that time frame. Now, you didn't ask me about an entire day. Okay.
Listen, hold on.
What?
You watched an entire live stream before you came up. You're saying it like we just mentioned it, and then you said the entire live stream. You watched the whole live stream. You watched Jacob Wheeler talk about it. You listened to me talk about it, read the comments about the 50% cash to cash ratio. Then you came up talking about, yeah, I got a 50% cash to cash ratio. So you're making it seem like that I was taking something out of context. No, the context was not making 5 cash. The context was like overall, like during a tournament season or during a tournament day or
Hey, I'm just telling you. Now, secondly, I heard people asking you, did I ever beat you? And yes, I have beat you. I have beat you.
Why you have this? Why?
And actually, I have your breaks. I still have your breaks. Because I beat those other ones off, and I still have your breaks if you can get them. Okay? Now,
Oh my God.
let me explain something to you. You out there harassing those little 1 pound fish. Now, I told you I was going to call Peter on you for what you're doing to those little 1 pound fish. You understand? You keep messing with me. I'm going to make that phone call, and we're going to shut this whole live stream down, or we're gonna be doing it from the Fulton County Jail.
Listen,
because you're going to go to jail behind beating up those little 1 pound fish.
So listen, first off, I don't like you pronouncing the B so hard when you say beat me down. You don't have to pronounce the B so hard like that. And second of all, those little minor fish that you catching are fish that used to hang out with R. Kelly. So you can't be coming here talking about. You can't be coming here talking.
You know R. Kelly official. You know R. Kelly official.
Money, you gonna be getting that mama bass on the stand to talk about? Yeah, that's my baby bass. Always baby bass on people. Bass. Is that where you're going with this?
He offered up some money for my baby bass.
Oh, wow, that's right. In Fulton County, you're talking about Judge Manning's territory. I'd love to see that on Zoom.
That's right.
That'd be some funny stuff, and her getting one of y'all in court.
That'd be great. That'll be great. I'll testify to it. I'll testify.
Crazy out there, Fulton County.
You'll
sit there for 2 years without an arraignment.
So listen, Chicken Hawk, real quick. Do you know what tonight's topic was about?
No, I came in late.
Have you ever heard of a name called Poche?
Yeah.
What part of the country do you think he comes from?
I thought he was from with the little Poche. I thought it might have been Louisiana, but he's from Alabama, actually.
Originally born in Louisiana.
Oh, he's originally born in Louisiana.
Yeah, he was born in Louisiana. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When I saw Poche, I was like, that's Louisiana.
You know anything about Louisiana?
Hey, man, you know I know all about Louisiana. You know I'm out that boot. I told you, baby. I'm from Louisiana. I'm from the boot. And as anyone who has studied understands, there's only 2 places on this entire earth that are shaped like a boot. That's right. Louisiana and Italy. Mm-hmm. And only one of them are shaped like a mud boot because we stomp people. Okay, that's what we do out the boot. You understand me? We put that mud boot up in that ass. Remember that. That's how we roll. Okay. That's Louisiana style.
No, listen.
Gosh.
See, the thing is, you're used to catching them crawfish, and that's why you used to those fishes you be reeling in about the size of them crawfish.
Oh, no. You out there catching bass look like brim. I was like, hey, man, you can't bring that to the scale. You cannot bring, trying to hold your little bass, hold them in the mouth. You can't even put your hand in their mouth. That's a doggone shame.
All right. See, look, you see this. So Cerebral, you see CT. You see what I'm talking about? I have a special guest on the live stream. You just come in here disrespecting the live stream, just bogarting the guest and everything, holding up some breaks.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Y'all tune a boat. Y'all can make that a pay-per-view. Seriously, I think that would be absolutely entertaining.
So,
hey, do you think fighting? I'm Tyson.
But I mean, do
You
you think they would pay to see one?
It ain't gonna be long. It
Hey,
won't be long.
let me tell you a little something about that. I got me in some trouble in Atlanta. That first Tyson Holyfield fight,
Yeah.
I found myself in a room full of friends working loss prevention. And let's just say I was new from my part of the country and I didn't read the room. And I put money on Holyfield. Now, did I win? Yeah. But did I damn near get beat getting out the door? Yeah. I got a real quick introduction to how things work in Georgia. And I said some things when Tyson first made that first stumble back. I jumped up, said some things about his legal past.
Oh,
thinking that I was not the only one in the room with that wager. I found out I was wrong because everybody else looked at me and no one else was cheering. And I thought, okay, I might be in trouble. And I damn near got my ankles held by my ankles over the railing, shaking the money out of my pockets before I left. But I won that bet, though.
That sounds like a Suge Knight situation.
I didn't think I was making it out alive. Oh, but good times. Good times. Love Georgia.
Oh, man. All right, guys. We've been
rolling. Oh, my goodness. Wait a second. Hold on a second. Do you see this comment? I got the come on, man. Do you see this comment? Talking about the real Death Valley is in Clemson. Man, you give me a break, baby. We all know where Death Valley is. We all know where it is. It's that purple and gold. You better ask somebody right there in BR, what we call Big Raggedy, Ratchet City, Baton Rouge. Understand? That's exactly where it at. And you come down there, you get something hung on you. Believe that. That's how we do it in the bayou, baby.
A little who dat.
We went. Hey, this year we sent our women. You know, we sent Bayou Barbie. Let them go ahead and handle a little business. So you know, LSU walk that thing around.
All right, fellas, we've been rolling for 2.5 hours. Want to give a special. We came on at 8. It's 10:30. It's been 2.5 hours. I mean, that's different from 2.5 fish. I know, you know what I'm saying? So
he's going to weigh in 2 fish in a tail. I'm hearing that. He's going to measure that tail.
When I get him on his little live, he's working out his little screen thing. When I get him on that, and when I beat those brakes off of it, then it's gonna be live. I won't have to deal with any of this anymore. I'm just gonna show up. How they say, I'm gonna show up and show out. That's what I'm gonna do.
CT can answer a quick question for us. Mm-hmm. So CT, let's say somebody is at a lake that they live close to. Mm-hmm. Should that person have an advantage over the person that's not in that area? That say they're even in a completely different state?
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I would say yes because it makes sense to say yes, but the home lake curse is freaking real.
There you go.
The home lake curse is real.
So then that means so if you agree with that, then that means that you shouldn't be running from Lanier then, right?
I don't run from Lanier. I just choose not to go to Lanier.
Okay, so now let me add a second part to that. So let's say that somebody is at a lake and they have a lake that's close by them and somebody else has a lake that's close by them. So they both have a home lake. What if they went to their home lakes and just fished against each other from the home lakes, whether it's most weight, most fish, or however they want to do it? So that way...
Then we're missing the mind games, though, of getting you on the same boat, or at least on the same water.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to exactly. That's what I'm trying to explain to him.
See, you're helping him out.
You over there in the little kiddie pool. You in the kiddie pool over there, Lanier, and I'm over here where we catch real fish at Gunnersville. You know what I'm saying? Where
Gunnersville's real, but kiddie
grown fish. Grown fish that make it kind of
deep as I've seen Lanier. I've seen some water on Lanier that was deep enough that scared the crap. If that's a kiddie pool, we got problems.
Oh yeah, but hey, it's a kiddie pool because he goes to his little traps. But what I'm saying is, he got his little trap.
Oh,
He's not
no.
little trap action. Yeah, I call it the trap house. I call it the trap house. That's what he got, the trap house.
See,
But-
CT, this is the thing. You can't give Chicken Hawk a half an inch because you not knowing you are helping him out. You are helping him to run.
Are you saying he's going to poche it?
I'm not running.
Poche
And
it?
he's
I was
gonna
trying-
jump. He's gonna jump a ramp and get on out of there. Because listen, this is the thing. Trying to get him to meet me on a lake where we're both there is just not happening. I told you he's sponsored by Nikes too. He didn't hold up the Nikes. He just held up the Duralast. Now, so this is what it came down to. Since he's at Gunnersville and I'm at Lanier, just go ahead to Gunnersville then, and I'll go to Lanier. I'm trying to get him just on the water.
No, because so let me explain. Since he's not going to tell it all, you know, I've been trying to get him on Logan Martin for years. I told him, and I just told him, I said, whenever you want, you name the date, just whenever, meet me over there and let's handle some business. And so, in fact, I went over there a few weeks back.
Did you want to mention that, or was that an accident?
Hey, that was your opportunity to give me. That was the first time out there in a long time.
So you were at Logan Martin.
Look,
Did you fish while you were at Logan Martin?
I was checking out.
And that is your lake. You heard him say he lives close by Gunnersville, but he prefers Logan Martin. So when you were at Logan Martin, this lake that you've been beat me on the lake, how many fish was you? It's a 5-fish tournament, right?
It was a 5-fish tournament, but
wait a minute, but how many fish?
It was tough out there that day. It was tough.
Oh, but it was tough for everybody except for you because that's your.
Well, everybody had it.
So,
Everybody, it was tough on everybody.
Oh, okay,
So,
but yeah.
you know,
So how much did your five? How much
came
how,
in with 2-3 fish?
But you did. How much did your 5 fish weigh?
I didn't get 5.
Oh, you didn't get 5. Well, how much did your 4 fish weigh?
I didn't get 4.
Oh, how much did your
This is
3 fish?
wrong.
How much did your
This ain't right.
How much did your 3 fish weigh?
It was tough that day. It was a tough day.
This is assault at this point.
But how much did your 3 fish weigh?
Let me, I'm trying to see. Now, which lake are we talking about? Because my 2 fish beat your 4 fish the last time we were out.
Wait a minute. So you're saying you only had 2?
You remember that one? Yeah, I had told 2 fish.
Wait
a minute.
You're kind of skipping over that a little bit there, Money. I kind of heard something there.
You don't want to talk about that.
I kind of heard a little something there that I want a little explanation on. 2 fish were how many?
That's when he came with his own. Look, he's sleeping now, right? So he had his little I think it was 4.025 pounds. You know.
Oh man,
fish.
it's almost tomorrow, guys.
Is that sweat? Is that sweat? Oh man,
I'm being set up. I'm being framed.
That's when
my gosh.
That's when CT. That's when he became the R. Kelly of fishing.
How you gonna use? How you gonna use my joke that I stole from you? How you gonna use my joke?
Look at this. If somebody catches 4 fish, 4.025 pounds, okay.
It was hard.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt and said each one of those fish was like 1 pound. Now we know that probably wasn't the case because if any of those fish was like 1.5 pounds, that means he had to catch a half-pound fish. How is that possible? I don't know. It is not.
What's the size limit out there?
What was the size limit? Obviously, it had to be 12 inches because you're not gonna catch a
14
a crackhead 15-inch fish. I mean, that's what he would need. He would need 4 crackhead fish that were 14 inches, weigh a pound each.
So what? So what was those 2 big fish you landed? What did that come out to?
I think it was 4.4 something.
Excuse me? Wait a
It
minute.
was 4 something.
That you beat him with?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well,
the 2 fish.
I'm
Wait a
sorry.
minute. Hold on a second. You
Love
telling me
you, money, but if the man points at the
listen,
scoreboard,
look at his eye twitching. Listen,
My eyes
you're
not
telling me
twitching.
that those 2 fish you were holding like this with your pinky.
Which 2 fish are you talking about?
You were holding your fish like this.
I was not holding my fish
There ain't no
that's
way.
That's messed up.
And
That's
you were
messed
pushing
up.
them way out here.
You're giving it the French finger. You're showing the pinky up there, giving it the French finger.
Ain't no way that those 2 fish weighed 4 pounds. None. No. No. And even listen, for one, it's the lake that you said you heard him for years. I've been trying to get him on Logan Martin. Why Logan Martin if that's what you're gonna do?
Well, look, because I know I'm fishing against you, so I'm not concerned.
I know what's happening here. I know what's happening here.
What's
You may have the
going
big
on?
lake. You may have the big lake in the backyard, but you know a little something about Logan Martin. That's your home. That's your true home lake. That's what you like. That's what you want to get him on. Yeah,
There you
and you
go.
might have had a rough day or 2 out there, but you
I had a rough day.
I know what's happening here.
You know, he wants to get. And look,
Yeah,
ask
I
him what
know.
happens to him every time he goes on Sinclair with me.
Oh, now we're bringing Sinclair into it.
What?
Any lake that has a Louisiana twist to it, so it kind of looks a little, like a lot of
little
blow down dots, that kind of, you know that swampish kind of look.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he gets tore out of frame on those. Here's the frame. Here's him. He torn out of frame. I'm just telling you, that's how it's going down.
I think there's only one way to settle this. Either we got to do 2 lakes. We got to do one on Lanier, the other on either Martin or St. Clair. We can average them out. We can wonder how we can even do like a weighted point system, right? Given like, I don't know, but see, I feel bad though giving that to a home lake because that home lake's curse is so freaking real. It's almost bit me in the butt a couple times. I've never zeroed on my home lake, but I've had some scary moments. But yeah, I'm sure we could come up with some kind of weighted. Yeah. See, that would be fun. Put those together.
Chicken
Get double
Hawk.
the action out of it.
Pick 2 lakes, Chicken Hawk. Pick 2 lakes.
Well, we've been talking about
Just pick 2 lakes real quick. What's 2 lakes?
Joseph's come in.
Chickamauga.
Okay, Chicken Hawk. Go ahead. What's the second one?
Okay.
Well, you don't want me to say Logan Martin?
Okay, so that's your 2 lakes.
Yeah.
Chickamauga and
That's
Logan
solid
Martin.
though. That's a solid pair.
Yeah.
All right,
Nothing wrong with
so
that.
I'll meet you at Chickamauga next month. All right, so hold on.
I'm gonna be out of town.
All right, hold on. We're gonna meet at All right, everybody, we meeting at Chickamauga.
No.
June 10th.
I already told you I was gonna be out of town. I'm gonna be back.
Oh, so now you're gonna be out of town.
Hey, CT, see what he doing? He talked to me earlier today, and I told him, I said, I have to go to Louisiana next month.
I told you he running.
Hey, go right.
Told you.
Yes, sir.
My guy took both y'all up to a polygraph.
All right.
Hey, we can do it. Hook
We'll get
me
it done
up.
real quick.
I'm not scared.
I'll put y'all both through an interview. We'll shake this out.
Hook me up.
All right, fellas. Look, but for real, look, we've been running. It's almost been 3 hours now. So look, let's go ahead. I will be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. So I'll see if I can pin Chicken Hawk down again. I mean, I know it's not gonna happen because I've been trying it for years, and then he gonna come in here talking about he's been trying it for years. The subscribers that are in the chat, they already know Chicken Hawk's tactics. But see, he knows that you don't know CT, so he's taking advantage of that. Anytime that you're giving him a little inch, what is that?
Got your name already written on it.
Box of breaks.
MoneyBass.
I'm gonna you made a friend. I'm gonna stick around and watch this, man.
I'm telling
I'm
you,
in. Y'all got me hooked. I like this.
I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna hurt him.
All right.
I'm gonna beat him like his daddy should have.
All right, guys. Shout out to Jay Carr for supporting the channel. Yes. What did you want to say one more thing, Chicken Hawk?
In fact, what I might make you do is go pick the switch. That's what I might make you go do. Go to the tree and pick a switch so I can beat you with it. That's
old school.
Old school on it.
Long, skinny.
Exactly. And look, don't come back with no little bit. You come back with a real one with the leaves on it. So when you walking back, you can hear it going through the wind, and you just start crying on your way back home. You're crying on your way back.
You want a pattern to that whipping. You want a pattern to that.
Goodness. All right, people. Special shout out.
Oh, hold on, one thing. See, I'm gonna grab him up under that arm. You know how you get that one arm, you get that chicken on, you hold it up, and you bah, bah, bah. That's the way I'm gonna beat him.
That's it.
All right, guys. Special shout out.
Is what that's doing. Y'all done gave me PTSD.
Special shout out
Y'all
to
give me
Jay
some
Carr.
flashbacks from childhood. You gonna make him pick the switch. Got it.
All right, guys. We're out for real this time. Special shout out to Jay Carr. Special shout out to Cerebral Tackle. Make sure you guys go and check out his channel. The link is in the description for the latest video that he has dropped on the topic that we have for this evening. And also, like I was saying, special shout out to Jay Carr. He did drop the $10 super chat. He was a sponsor of the live stream. And then Justin, let me make sure I put some respect on his name.
And Justin with the 50 as well.
That's right. That's right. Special shout out to Justin. He is the sponsor of tonight's live stream with the $50 super chat. If you guys take a look at the bottom, you see on that banner, special thank you so much to the sponsor of tonight's live stream, Justin. He was getting active in the chat. Strong supporter of the channel. Really, really appreciate it. And special shout out to everybody for coming in, making this another successful live stream. And like I always say, we build off of the live stream. So yeah, maybe I'll be able to pin Chicken Hawk down for the next one, and I have an announcement about the, about the can, that we had to open up on it. All right, guys, really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome speaking with you guys. Man, it's been a blast. Time has absolutely flown.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we'll be back again. So we'll see how things go. I mean, maybe it hasn't died down yet. Maybe there's a few more questions that may pop up because I thought more people were going to come with their, the other side of the story. So
we got to do that co-angler thing sometime too.
Oh yeah. So we'll
talk chat about that.
So yeah, so Chicken Hawk might be on the panel about that one because his co-anglers repeatedly just put a stomping on him. So
oh man, come on now. Come on now.
All right, look, we can't keep on going. All right, guys, we got to go ahead and head out. All right, really, really appreciate everybody. I'll see you guys on the next live stream.